test that you don't. So then you pass
Okay, you
that
added
test.
the part, huh?
Then
Yeah,
then you
yeah,
take
yeah,
your,
don't worry.
well, you can take your cram, because I took a cram right after.
The thing with that is that
That's expensive too.
you need.
Well, maybe you have it saved on the
like, for
desktop
example,
or,
I took a
Probably.
course about
yeah, I think you have it
exam,
saved in,
And while I was taking a course for like a couple days before finishing it,
just type it under,
I had registered because once you.
no, up there,
It's
top right.
Finish with this.
You have to apply online. and speak
So
to our-
it was a PowerPoint, right?
Yeah, it was a PowerPoint, I think you have it saved,
Mind you.
right there, ignite session 10.
But this is the PDF.
I
Okay, see?
did my course.
Oh, no, it's the instruction, no,
June
no,
21st.
close it out, where is it?
Or
Let's see.
July 26th. I got my email last week.
Ignite,
Oh,
right
wow.
Session
Mine was
9.
right away. I was
Session
also- I
10.
started
There
the
you
There
go.
it
process
is.
a week before
Perfect.
you was gonna take.
So
I
now,
made my own
look for the,
schedule.
close
So I
that
was like,
puppy
I'm
out.
gonna take this.
Now let's look for the video.
And yeah, I registered with the VPVR, like, while I started my course.
Oh, in YouTube,
And then
you
when I
download,
finished
go to the,
my
open the video
cram,
and then press
like,
pause.
how to say, I finished the 7 days, then I took a cram, because that's included in the money that you pay, you get like all the material, you get the
Oh,
7 days plus the test. You get a cram, which is the whole review, and they give you all kinds of tips on how to take that specific test. That, I think that you have like
Go
2
with Josh
years,
Anderson.
like if you didn't pass.
You might
it,
wanna
you can
type in,
still over and over
Josh
take it
Anderson.
For a period of time, so, you know, that's
Anderson.
another thing. Like,
Good morning, good morning.
How many you pay for it.
Manita's looking for
Um,
Okay.
And then right after the cram.
Right there.
The cram finished on
This
a
one?
Sunday.
Yeah, what, 2 points
My
away.
cram finished on a Sunday, and Monday I took the board.
The top one, that one.
So I did it over.
I'm Josh Anderson
Okay, yeah.
No,
from
I didn't
Nashville,
do it
Tennessee.
Like it took me
All right,
less,
now, can you minimize
because
that?
I did it really quick.
Yes.
Like I did one thing after another.
All right,
Like, I
and
did
minimize,
The 7 days,
oh, no, there you
cram, and I schedule my
Do we have
test
anyone
time,
on?
like-
Yeah, we
like you
have
said,
three
like you
persons.
Schedule it ahead, and I schedule it
Perfect,
for
and then,
cram finish here. the
so
next
now
day
you're
I
sharing
rotate.
screen with, for the
I make
video?
the decision,
Yes.
I said,
And-
I'm
and
not
this
letting
one, right?
it
Yeah.
take
Remember that you can only
because
share
in my
one screen at a
opinion, it's like,
time.
when you
So-
No, no, I know, so let me,
You
here.
you are currently in the PowerPoint.
put
Then
too
once
many
you're going to
dates
share
in
the video, you click
you're
on
not
here,
as fresh.
and then you go
So
to,
I think that even though I
new
didn't
share,
know it
and then
all,
you're gonna select
Perfect.
the.
and then where are my people at? Oh, right there, Mercedes
And
and
then
Tanya.
whatever
Okay,
you
awesome.
remember.
Yeah,
And can they hear me?
6 for
Let me
when-
They
see.
can hear you.
With all that information.
Mercedes and Tanya, can you hear
I'm
me?
a teacher, I do not agree with that.
But no, but.
Yes, I can. Good morning.
Oh, good morning, good morning. Okay, ladies, thank you so much. All right, I'm Luis Padillo. I don't know if you guys can see me. Oh, oh, wait, let me see.
It was 2 weekends, so everything
Guys,
was
here.
done in 3 weeks.
Oh, gotcha.
There you go. Can you guys see me now? I'm gonna have to play with this camera. You guys out there?
Yeah, I can see you now.
Okay, okay. I know that we're supposed to start at 9:30. It's 9:36, but my question to you is, how many students? Are we missing a lot of students? Or this is pretty much it?
We're missing Robert. I'm not sure. I'm gonna text him.
Okay, and what about, that's pretty much it? If
Yeah.
Robert comes in, we're good? What about you out there in Zoom? Do you guys know who we're missing? I see we have Mercedes and Tanya. Anyone else? Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait 5 minutes, guys, and we're gonna start. The material, we're gonna still cover it. So that's not gonna be a problem whatsoever, and looking forward to today's class. I'm outnumbered here in the office and in Zoom. It's all good, it's all good. I'm a big boy. I like to bring humor to the table, guys, because I'm 55 years old and I'm not old. Oh, thank you, guys, thank you. I'm not, I gotta continue making sure. Even though, you know, I'm 55, I don't have that much time left. You know, not like you guys.
Oh, please.
I got 20, 30 years left. I gotta make the best out of it, so. There's my coffee here. And
Robert is on his way. He's just running a little bit.
okay. Well, he'll catch up with us soon then. You know,
Are you gonna help us negotiate our deals?
yep. Absolutely. And what I bring to the table is experience as well, current experiences, current contracts that I'm dealing with. So,
Do you do mainly commercial or you still do?
no. I
Residential?
started in this business doing strictly residential, but I became a listing agent right away. So I'll share with you guys my story. Let's just wait a couple of more minutes and then we get going. Has everyone signed here?
Yes.
Okay, so let me take care of sign. You know what? I gotta go get a pen. Oh, no, I got a pen here. I've got to register Tanya Garcia and Mercedes Turbides. One thing you guys are gonna know is that with me, you're not gonna fall asleep. I keep it real, I keep it very active. And anytime during the class that you guys have a question, I encourage that you guys ask. God, okay. We'll figure this out.
Se me olvidó mi abrigo.
You need to go get it?
No, it's in my house.
Oh, I thought maybe it
I
was in
just
your car.
realized it. No, I'm just, talking out loud.
Let me go get my bottle of water. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, when I come back, we'll get ready to start.
I think Friday last. Oh, good. Usually, it was with Pedro. I promise you, I'm like so tired, I can't think back that far. We got back, we drove to Georgia. Oh, wow. And we got back last night. Oh, so you must be tired, exhausted. And I have my final today. So yeah, so on Friday I couldn't go. I couldn't go if there was no service. And I love your writing, so. Like my writing is a mix of French, Arabic. Most people don't understand my writing. Yeah.
Well, I hope you guys understand mine.
Yours is very.
I don't have a good handwriting.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
I used to have a better writing, but lately I just get, I'm too like this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And I start scribbling, scribbling.
Are you starting to
I
have a
understand
doctor's
what I
writing?
write. It's not about that.
Huh?
Are you starting to have a doctor's writing?
Oh, I hate it. That's part of a lot of these are terrible.
I guess, I'm used to it, as the nurse, I guess that it rubble, because I understand the writing, like their handwriting, and then I also, I understand what I write,
Well, now with Mars and things like that, you don't need.
and I kind of like,
You
do a
don't
lot
need
of
to understand.
abbreviation, but I know what, I know what I'm writing. So, it's my nose,
Oh, yeah,
so I
mine
kind of do my own shorthand, you know what I mean, like, I know what I'm writing, but I have to be quick, so.
That's the thing, you have one of two options, either
Take your time.
to take your time and have, write it down nicely, or just chicken scratch it.
Yeah, I do the second one, but I know what I do. It's like, okay, I got you.
All right. Now we can get the show on the road.
Thank you.
Very, very well.
Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Oh, I love this. Oh.
Oh, yeah, most of the cards, that comes from actually Keller Williams International. So, hey,
How are you?
good morning.
Yeah. That's it, how are you, sir?
Very well. Everything good with you?
Yes, sir.
Good deal.
Got a rain.
Yeah, yeah. I left my house in Color Bay sunny, because I started going east towards the turnpike. It started pouring,
Yeah.
and I said, okay, good, good. Hopefully in Kendall, it won't be pouring. I had to wait about 7-8 minutes in my truck, and then I yeah, and I just had to get off with the rain. Cause yeah, one of the things that I like is when especially if I'm teaching a class or attending a regional training or something, I want to get in on time. I want to blend in,
Take
you
your
know,
coffee.
get myself situated, you know, in my area of that I'm gonna be sitting, get my coffee, you know, relax, stretch, bathroom, whatever, and then, you know, get ready for my class. Over here, I like to always make it in by 9, and by 9:15, 9:20, have everything set up here. So then that way, you know, I can start, you know, getting pumped up, ready. And, but anyways, thank you guys for making the effort. 5 students, 2 online, no, well, 6 students, 4 present and 2 online. That's terrific. You guys in Zoom, I'm sure you guys can hear me, correct? And I'm just gonna continue asking questions from Zoom. You guys can hear me, right?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Okay, that's what it says. What about Tanya? Can I get a shout out from Tanya? Tanya Garcia, can you hear me?
Oh, you have A message?
Oh, I have a message. Oh, let me see. Yes. Oh, okay. All right. Let me just type in acknowledging them. Good deal. Good deal. All right, guys. So welcome to Ignite Session 10. Before I begin, I want to tell you a little bit about myself, okay? My name is Luis Padillo. I came to this company before we opened our doors over 17 plus years ago, okay? So I have grown with this company. I came from corporate America. I met Vladimir when he was interviewing me to ask questions pertaining wanting to come on board. Halfway through, I guess, the meeting, interview, whatever, I stopped him and I says, no more, I'm in. And he said, but wait a minute, I haven't told you much about our company. It says, it's new, it's something that's starting out, I want to be a part of it, you know? When you go, when you're in corporate America, that you start something, that's where you want to be in the groundbreaking, you know? So right off the bat, I said, this is, you know, if it's gonna flop, I'll get out in time. If not, you know, I'm in it, you know, from the beginning. And sure enough, it's been a blessing ever since. Your instructor is Rookie of the Year in 2004. In 2005, I became Train the Trainer certified with Keller Williams Company or International. Vladimir and I went and had a regional class by the regional owner, Nicky Baldini, who went out ahead and taught many of us how to teach, you know, train, you know, especially at any level. For me, what I love is to train the new agent that's just come on board, because I remember when I was there. And I share with you what I went through, okay? How I overcame it, how I didn't let my family bring me down, because that's your greatest opposition, when family, you know, brings you down, and in where you move forward, you know, and the obstacles that you can come across. Each obstacle is totally different, but if you are looking at what the prize is in mind, for me, it was enough of corporate America, enough of, I was in the heavy equipment industry. And when 9/11 came, I was very nice. Company vehicle, phone, credit card, SunPass, all of these were things that I didn't have to pay for, which added to my salary. Okay, leading men. I was never a mechanic. I learned this through the administrative end, and 2 engineering contracting firms, the local Caterpillar dealership, and then 9/11 came. That industry got affected big time. I had to make a change. But meanwhile, during all that time, I was always involved with real estate. For one way or another, buying houses or buying a piece of land, building a house in Naples. And people will tell me, what are you doing here? You should be in real estate, you know? And in the back of my head, yeah, it's easier said than done. I got bills to pay, I got 2 kids, you know, even though my wife works and all. But not until I was put up against the wall, okay, after 9/11, that I made that decision. I said, I've got to make this happen. So this is your instructor, okay? 17 plus years later, I've been an interim team leader. I know what it is to manage an office, how to recruit. My objective today is in negotiating the deal. The class consists of negotiating in 2 formats. Before going into contract, and sometimes you got to deal with your seller and with your buyer. And then when you are under contract, in order for what? To get to closing. That's the ultimate prize, the ultimate goal. I'll share with you, you know, my experiences, because although we got to do the textbook driven portion of it, I bring my actual experiences to it. So that way you know that, okay, this is not like an old man who used to do real estate 20, 30 years ago, but real estate has changed and he's just going based on textbook. No, I'm talking to you real life based, and we'll use the content to apply it to real life based. So before I start, I just want to go around the table. Let me make sure. Let me start in Zoom. Mercedes, how many years have you been in real estate?
Oh, I just recently got my license in June, so 0 years. But I do have a strong customer service background. And
Oh.
real estate is something just like you that I really, really loved, but I was afraid to leave my paying job for. Because, you know, once you get into that comfort of every 2 weeks you got that paycheck, it's hard to walk away from that. And then, you know, COVID went and threw our whole lives upside down. So now I'm like, you know what? Yeah, it's my time to do it.
There you go.
Working on getting over the fear.
All right.
We're going there little by little, but definitely something I love.
Awesome, awesome. I love that testimonial of yours, Mercedes. And
Thank
guess
you.
what? You came in just at the right time. Just like Robert, he came in at the right time.
Sorry.
Good morning, buddy.
Good morning.
Let me give you here.
Sure, thank you so much.
Put your name quickly.
Appreciate it.
You're all good at it.
So,
No one's ever late in my class.
Thank you.
All right, you bet. Okay, so now let me go around the room here. Malak. Wait, did I pronounce it right?
You got it right.
Malak, how many years?
I got my license a few months ago.
Okay,
April.
okay, Yaritza?
I got my license like, I don't know if it was February or March, February.
This year?
Mhm.
Victoria?
God willing, I'll be getting my license on Sunday.
All right, oh my God. So you're taking your state exam this Sunday? Sweet, okay. That is awesome. And then, wait, what happened to Tanya? Oh, she's no longer with us, so, okay. And Robert, how long you been in the business?
Probably my 8th week.
8th week?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I got a rookie team.
Yeah, young blood.
All fresh, young meat. No, it's all good, guys, because I adopt to who my crowd is, okay? And more than anything, I ask you if you got a question that you might, wait a minute, what, I didn't, did you put that? Yeah, hey, wait a minute, I'm missing something. And how many years you been in the business?
3 years,
3.
on and off.
Okay. So last session 9, that was on Friday, what was the topic that was discussed?
We did do a good portion of the contract as is.
Yeah, we went over the as-is contracts.
Mm-hmm. Who was the instructor?
Pedro,
Pedro Casanova.
yeah.
Okay,
Learn how you could tweak,
okay.
present a different offer.
All right, so you guys have a good grasp, understanding of what an offer is, right? Okay, I don't want to alarm you. If every single representation was the exact same offer, this would be gravy, this job. It's not like that. The best thing for us is when he showed you was how to fill in the blanks, correct? And in filling in the blanks, if you know your market, you'll know how to suggest how to fill the blanks in, right? And where does that come in at certain areas? Price, deposit, length of before closing, inspection period. Those are the ones that, you know, that we can play with because obviously, depending on the price you offer, you'll get it. The deposit you offer, you know, it might let the seller know, wow, this buyer's serious, you know, they're coming in with a strong deposit. Those are all leveraging terms, you know. Closing, well, we'll find out during this class, how do you set the closing where the seller can say, I can do that, you know? And then inspection period and so on and so forth, all right? So I'm glad then that you guys went over that. Wait, what we're going to go over in this class, we're going to learn the most common points of negotiation. And then we're going to be able to realize that negotiations is a common part of our own lives, outside of business as well. And you know, we'll go over certain of those instances. We're going to be talking about the 3 P's approach to the negotiating process. We're going to practice planning strategies I have here. Okay, perfect. We can set ourselves up that we can do a one-on-one. which is strategies in crafting communications to customers and agents during negotiations, and discover techniques for minimizing risk. You've already made your contacts. Is there anyone here that wants to share with me this weekend, any phone calls, anyone you reach, and you as well, Mercedes, out there this weekend that there was a wow factor, that you got closer to an appointment or an actual appointment? Yes, Maya.
It wasn't this weekend, it was last week.
Mm-hmm.
I was so happy, but so on Friday, not this Friday, I've been following up with the FISBO.
For sale by owner,
For
okay.
sale by owner for a really nice property in Killian.
Mm.
And just her husband was sick, so I just was calling like care calls. And finally on Friday, I was able to, she talked to me about real estate herself, I didn't even mention, and she was like, why don't you come in? So Robert was with me, I prepared everything. Monday, no answer. Tried to call on Tuesday. Well, she texted me later on saying, I apologize, she was tired. The next day I called again, no answer. Friday I called, no answer. So that was kind of I was very close to get the appointment. I got an appointment, but it didn't.
Okay.
Hasn't happened yet.
Hasn't happened yet. That's correct. That's correct. Now, do you have her information?
Yeah.
Name,
I sent
email?
her a note card on
Okay,
Wednesday.
perfect. Okay, that's one follow-up. Now, she approached you about the home as far as what, wanting to sell it, to come look at it?
So I first called because I had her information. Her husband was trying to sell her. It was a FISBO. And then he got sick, he got a stroke. So then instead of me mentioning real estate, I was just calling to ask, since I'm in the medical field, I was like, hey, I'm in the medical field, I just wanted to follow up with you. How is everything? And
But she knew that you were calling because you're a realtor.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Like
that's-
I always present
very
myself, hey,
important.
this is Malek with Keller Williams. How's your husband?
Okay.
And so after a few calls like that, on that Friday, that's when I called about her husband and she was like, okay, so let's talk about the house. And that's when she mentioned that her husband was trying to sell it. They only had one offer. It's been listed for 2 months
Oh, but is it listed?
on Zillow.
Oh, in Zillow.
Yeah, he posted it on Zillow for 2 months. He only had one offer and he wanted the buyer to pay commission. And she was like, for me, what's important is privacy. I want you to help me convince, her husband.
Okay.
Basically, she was for me helping them in the process, but it was her husband that was kind of.
Got it. Well, I guess a follow-up would be, look for the closed sales of the area where that home is. Remember, the subject has the municipality code, area, section, subdivision, and the last 4 is the parcel that identifies that one property, right? Okay, if I were you, go back in area, section, subdivision. Go back to recent sales the last 30 days. If there's not but 1 or 2, 60 days.
I have them.
Okay, and what I would do is I would, send maybe a checklist of how to prepare your home for sale. And says, listen, I know we haven't met and I haven't seen your home, okay, and this is something that you would drop off, knock on the door and say, I know that we don't have an appointment, but I felt that I wanted to drop this off here for you. It's a little checklist. And go through it and give me a call back tomorrow, or I can call you, let's say Monday, or I can call you Wednesday during the day. Okay, because now there's already established report, right? But there's some kind of a medical illness, issue, concern in the middle. So right now, the last thing you want to be is a salesman.
Correct.
You want to be more of a consultant. What does a consultant do? Listens. A consultant looks for options. That's what I am. Ever since I got my license, folks, and you look at my license and it says the same thing your license says, salesperson. But that's because the state calls me that. But that's not what Luis Badillo is. Since the beginning, I'm a consultant in the business. What does that mean? I listen. You have a perfect situation here. You guys have a perfect, because I'm sure you'll list it together, I guess, right? You have a perfect scenario where you want to be a support system for them, okay? To include when the time comes of them considering listing the property for sale. It doesn't matter if it's Killian, Pinecrest, Gables, Coral Gables, or if it's Florida City, you know, out in the boonies. A representation is a representation no matter how you look at it. So having said that, follow through with them and then let your further instructors know, or I put my number there, let me know, and I'll continue, you know, helping, walking you guys through it. But good. Any other comments of any lingo, real estate related? Yes, sir, Robert.
I think just my aha last week was, I've been going through my rental initiation, so it's been kind of trying to figure out the way to communicate with people. So off the bat, I've been like, I need these documents to know, you know, for me to know that they're serious, but also to help them prepare beforehand. And I've noticed a lot of like people have stopped calling back or answering to or visiting my portal when I've been persistent in getting that information prior to meeting them. So my aha moment was speaking with another realtor here was go to one showing without requesting the documents. Let them meet you, let them put like a face to the name, and then once that happens, then press forward with the documentation.
Absolutely.
To know they're serious. So
I strongly agree. I work a lot with the military, and their Southern Command Office of the United States is in Doral. It's called Southcom. Okay, they have a housing office, and their manager interviewed me in 2005. I didn't know she was interviewing me when I was called for a family, which was a young service member woman, 1 or 2 kids, and the mother. So I meet him at a property that I'd already found, and she happens to show up. Once I show the property to them, the family takes off, she stays behind. She asks me certain questions. That's it. You know, and I'm answering it. You know, okay, I just had gotten my license in December of 04. So, and this was 05, 03, 05. And after that, that was it. I started getting phone calls from her. And one of the things that I've discovered with service members is that they need guidance because they are out of state. Their home state is somewhere else, but they have to come here because of work. So yes, you go on ahead and show one property. After that, you establish the rules of real estate in Miami, because most of them come from other locations where the price is sometimes half of it. Requirements are not as rigid, but once you establish that, they can always go back to the housing office. Hey man, this guy's asking for this, that. The housing office is going to say, hey, you got to do that. In your case, when you are there with them and says, you like this home? And let's say for somebody, yeah, you know what? It's nice and everything, but the backyard is not that big. I said, perfect. Is there any adjustments else I got to make? And once you do that, it's good. Now that we've identified by seeing, we have a face behind the voice, I want to let you know the competitiveness of the rental markets here in South Florida. And what are the requirements? These are not things that I asked for, but for me to position you, when you finally tells me, yes, we want this, chances are you're not the only one that wants this property, and there's going to be multiple offers. How can I place you at the right, opportunity for you to get approved? And then they'll look at that and says, okay, that's fine, and you move forward. Anything else? Mercedes, anything to share with us from this weekend?
Not much to share, but we're getting there. I promise to have more to share soon.
Okay, good attitude. I like that. All right, so we've already spoken. Well, I'm sure you guys are adding your 10 new contact. Do not add any type of a contact. Add something related to the business, okay? Why? You don't want to waste your time. You want to trick your mind. You want to be fair with yourself, because everything that we're doing from Ignite and from you starting with us, moving forward, is you're building a solid concrete foundation of your real estate career. So why build it with concrete and wood, and things that are not going to come in and solidify your career for years to come? You don't want your career to crumble because you half-weighted it. You went about it 50%. You need to come in 100% if this is what you want. Any industry, you've got to give it your 100%. In this one, forget about the fact that we're as competitive. You entered a market that it is super excellent to come in. I entered a market when Miami-Dade County had, in just one city, Homestead, over 6,000 folios. You know what a folio is? It's a property. Approved by the county and not the first shovel dug in, which was Homestead, okay? Which was east of the Florida Turnpike, all right? Did I care about that? No. Did I care about the fact that we had over 50,000 agents and a lot of agents were trying? No, because I can't cover the entire industry. I can only do one at a time. So what did I focus on? I'm going to let you guys know during the class of the things that I did that helped me get a lot of referrals and help me get that phone call and be able to solidify. Kevin, if you don't mind, can you close the door?
Oh, yeah.
Because I talk a little bit high and I don't want any of the officers to. So, and then here's the thing. Speak with 10 people. Why? You want this ton of real estate to unravel itself. You don't want to wait until you are in front of a buyer or a seller to go on ahead and talk about real estate. Because what's going to happen? Yeah. Right there, guys, with the seller, you're going to lose it. When is the best time? And I'm sorry that I'm taking a little bit of time here, but this is very essential. When is the best time to go on ahead and go through the OEE with your family members? Get your spouses, your boyfriend, significant other, let them know, hey, I'm going through a class. And today we learned about negotiating the deal. I want you and I to role play. You're going to be my seller. You're going to be my buyer. Today I learned this. Yesterday I learned this. And what I want you to do is be objective about it. And guess what's going to happen, guys? Your partner's going to say, yeah, let's do it. Your partner's going to be serious. You're going to be giggling. You're going to be laughing. And that's where I want you to do that. I don't want you to do that when you are with a real buyer or when you are in the home of a seller. Because, guys, the seller predominantly is going to look at it and say, oh my God, this is a rookie right here, And all of a sudden they're going to think, they're going to undersell my house, forget it, I need an established agent. And what you're going to do is you're going to help them pick an established agent. You don't want that, okay? So when is the time to go on ahead and speak with the people as you're in preparation? Now, write 10 notes, even if it's to your significant other. And guess what? A 45 cents, 40 cents a stamp, do that. Create a habit, okay? We're trying to create habits for you in real estate that are going to show you, help you move forward, okay? What else? Preview 10 homes. This one is very key. When I first started, I was living in Homestead, area 79. Area 79, section 10 for me was where I was living. So I needed to start identifying what's active, what's pending, what's closed sales. And then in those three phases, active, pending sale, and closed sales, I had to break it down 0 to 150 back then in 2004. 150 to 300, 400, anything 500 or above was I would consider, the luxury or whatever. And guess what, guys? When I would drive in Homestead from point A to point B, for whatever reasons, I would say, oh wait, I saw that. Jesus, that house was listed at 340,000. Man, it looks so small in the front. Guess what? You are a licensed realtor. You can stop. You can go into, I'm not going in the property. Move a little bit forward, what I would do, and I would see the back, one side built all the way to the back. I said, okay, that's where the 3,000 square feet is. Whereas in the front, it looked like a maybe 1,500 square foot home, but where's the 3,000 square feet? If on this side, you see like the backyard, and you see the sign post of the realtor, if the owner see it, they might say, well, that's a realtor or buyer. So you're good. If police stops you, oh no, I'm a realtor. I'm looking for properties in this area. You're good. So what's your fear? You, me, myself, and I. Get over that fear because you are in the state of Florida licensed realtor. You are able to do so. You can go see properties. Now be careful with the pandemic because certain sellers might tell their listing agent, I don't want no one here unless if it's a true buyer. Because I know a lot of realtors would tell me, and I just got a call last week where a realtor wants to see one of the properties I have listed for 1.250. I said, great. Do you have a buyer or is it you looking for? She says, no, I'm looking to list another property in the area and I want to see yours. I says, you know what? Terrific. I appreciate your call, but unfortunately my sellers, they live the home and they're just not going to want to show it to anyone. But I did put a video and I put multiple pictures. No, it does look lovely, but I think it kind of looks a little antiquated and I wanted to go see it. You know, of course, my client's home hasn't been renovated in less than 5 years. It's been way more than that. I know that. I said, look, I realize that, and thank you for capturing and letting me know that. But that's pretty much it. Based on that, go with it for whichever your property is, and I look forward to seeing your email. So that took care of that. With you guys wanting to preview, the objective is to get to know your inventory. When you get to know your inventory, when you get to speak to a friend, a family member, and role play, honest to God, guys, this gives you the confidence, the boost that, okay, I can do this. And then to the point where I want a seller. And then that's probably when you're going to start attacking for sale by owners, okay? Because that confidence level has gone up inside of you. The fact that you're studying the MLS, looking at all the properties that are active, closed sale, pending sales, and what are the current market trends where you live. Those are the things that are going to help you have that confianza to continue moving forward. Okay, it says here, get your call list, begin calls. It says here 20 minutes. I'm going to give you only 10 minutes, guys, because the rest of the time I took, in what I spoke to you guys about. So right now, it is 10:15. At 10:30, I'm going to come back in here. And if you guys need to step out so you don't overlap in your conversation, that's great. But please, at 10:15, be here. Mercedes, 10:15, I'll be right back, okay?
It's 10:15.
I'll be right back.
Okay. I mean, 10:30. Thank you. Thank you for correcting me.
Entendido.
If you don't have anyone to call a relative. An easy format to start is, hey, I'm in the real estate business, or in your case, Victoria, I'm starting my real estate business here real soon, and what I'm looking for is doing a jump start. Who do you know that's looking maybe to purchase or might need to sell? And if that individual says, but you already have your license, I said, no, not yet. But I am working with a team of experienced realtors in which if the opportunity comes, this is not me alone. I have a tremendous support system that can help me. And that defeats them saying that, well, you're not a realtor, how can you do this?
Thank you.
You bet.
Hi, good morning, Ms. Bentacore. Hi, good morning. My name is Robert Pino. I'm actually a realtor here at Miami and Fort Worth, California. How are you doing today? Good, good. Hope you had a great weekend. Listen, I was talking about 215 Southwest 42nd Avenue, 906. I know showings start today.
Entonces, créelo o no, ha estado súper material como estaba, ¿no?
Oh, okay.
¿Estás trabajando? Sí, sí, estoy aquí en los ahora mismo. ¿Qué onda? ¿Cómo has estado? Ya está la computadora lista, ¿verdad?
Understood, understood. Mhm. Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. Actually, I have a client that's very interested. It's a doctor from Minnesota that's relocating here for the next year. And he absolutely did, he pointed out this is one of his favorite properties. So I was trying to see, you know, how I can go in to do like a FaceTime with him. He's, you know, he's ready to go ahead and present an offer should he likes the video. So it's tomorrow. I'll be actually in the area tomorrow. Should I just call you, text you? Like, how should I go about trying to see if it's available to see tomorrow? Sure.
Hola, señora Mori, me llamo Malak, soy un realtor.
I understand it can be challenging. So perfect. I'll just shoot you a text so you have my point of contact, and then I'll reach out tomorrow just to see how you move forward with that. If I'm gonna be able to stop by and, you know, do a FaceTime. Okay. Thank you so much for your time. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye.
How do you delete a voicemail?
Delete?
Yeah. But do you press 1, 2, 0, 3?
Oh, like actual, oh,
Hola, señora Mori, me llamo Malak, soy un realtor de Keller Williams. Solo quería hacer un seguimiento con usted sobre su propiedad en venta. ¿Cómo fue su oferta? Me encantaría ayudarlo a vender su propiedad. Puede llamarme a 786-444-3192. Gracias y buen día.
for translation.
That wasn't my Spanish.
Really good.
I've been following up with this lady. She's on the
The kid who likes going to school, he was a joke. Yeah. Macias was not interested. Following with Luke right now. Should check out the portal. So we'll see what she says now.
That kid was a joke?
This is my fucking time.
What did you say?
This is my time. Wants to go see properties at like 6:30 p.m. Doesn't want to send anything. Hi, good morning, and Spook. Happy Monday. This is Robert Pino calling you from Keller Williams. Hope you had a lovely weekend. Just calling to follow up with you to see where your thoughts on some of the properties that I sent through the MLS. Whenever you get a chance, you can just shoot me a call or a text, whichever is easier for you. Later today, just wanted to hear back on your feedback and hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you. Bye. Yeah, he was like I locked in some showings for him, and he was like, oh. I can only do like Friday after 6:30. I'm like, hey, these realtors are not going to be like the properties they want to see were like not lock boxes. And I was like, most of these people, they first properties move fast, and second of all, they're not going to stay for 6:30 to show one person here to have multiple offers. And he's like, all right, I'll try to do earlier, and then like I reached out again, and never answered, and I was like, that's it.
Wow. What about the other one?
Astiz, I think she already had found something, or she was like not interested. And then Book, I just told you, I just called her now. She checked out the photos this weekend, so she's an easy one. I just hoping that she's going to be committed to going through the process, but she has a healthy budget. She understands the market. She has realistic expectations. With her budget, I can actually find everything that she wants. So it's just on her. She works from home. The only challenge is like she wants a washer dryer in the unit, and she wants to bring her cat, which is fine. And the budget's like 25. So
For a one bedroom?
okay, I already sent her a bunch of great properties. It's just like I said, it's her willing to work with me. So let me see. Go back to this. Yeah, but that kid like tipped me off because I spent like all these calls trying to lock in these accommodating, like asking landlords to accommodate me there. I had one that accommodated for Saturday. It was like, all right, then we'll just do it. Just bring me rings, got never answered me, and then so I just called him. I'm like, hey, bro, I appreciate it, but don't even worry about 9 and before this guy. Hola, buenos días, Dalis, ¿cómo estás? Bien, bien, gracias. So, recibí tu texto ayer y yo vi ahora que yo tengo el correo electrónico, lo tenía mal. So, yo te voy a mandar ahora un poco la lista de nuevo para que puedas empezar a ver la inventoria. ¿Okay? Yo tenía dos letras diferentes porque no viste. No, sí. Ok, déme ahora mismo entrar a la página y te voy a mandar ahora la lista que puse. Recuerde que todo está moviendo rápido, so a lo mejor algunas cosas eh, no está disponible, pero tú marca el que te gusta y yo voy a averiguando si están disponibles todavía. ¿Okay? Tengo dos en este momento, solamente que lo demás se fue, esto es lo único que tengo ahora. Ahora mismo se lo voy a mandar, ¿ok? Y entonces hablamos más tarde y me dejas saber exactamente. Sí, por la 1 de la tarde. Está bien. David, haz un día. Hey, Moises, man. Happy Monday. Good, man. How was your weekend, all right? Hello? Yeah, I can hear you. No, I was just asking, how was your weekend? Good, good, man. So tomorrow's a big day, right? Yeah. So, I was just trying to find out what time I'm gonna reach out to my client. I got, some prior commitment. And I will be busy until like 1:15 is like until I can be in that area. So I'm gonna follow up to see what time, but you think your assist will be available, towards afternoon, early afternoon? Okay, let me then speak to my client and then I'll follow up with you just another time. Cool. All right, brother. I'll talk to you in a little bit. Thanks. All right, bye.
Good morning. My name is Malaika Marosa with Keller Williams. I hope you're having a great Monday. I'm calling you in regards to your property on 4945 Southwest 97th Court, sorry. We do work as Keller Williams agents. We do work with a lot of buyers and sellers in your area, and I just wanted to follow up and see what I can do to help you sell your property. If you can give me a call back, my phone number is 786-444-3192. Thank you so much and have a great day.
Okay, 1 minute left. Thirty seconds. Hmm?
One more.
Okay, got it. Go for it.
Hi, Lambert. Hi, my name is Malaka. I'm a realtor with Keller Williams. How are you today? I saw your listing at the Club Brickell, at the Club at Brickell Bay, Unit 3002. Is it still available? Okay. Oh. Oh, sorry, I did not see that. And I see here that short-term rental is permitted. Awesome. Okay, so I do have my client is a businessman from France, and he's interested in your property. So I'll go ahead and send him your property, and then is it available for showing? I know it's only available in November, but is it available for showing? Awesome. Okay. And all your units are short-term allowed? Short-term rental allowed? Wonderful. Okay, perfect. So I'll go ahead and send them to him and see which one he likes. he's very into beautiful view and things like that, so that's why. Yeah. Wonderful. Say it again? Yes, yes. Well, I am. I'm a realtor. I work with a lot of those clients that come from France. Yes, yes, yes. I am. Hmm. Correct. Awesome. And so I know you have the building, the property on the 30th floor. What other properties do you have? I know you told me. Okay. Perfect. Sounds good. So I'll go ahead and send those properties to them, and then I'll let you know which ones they want to see. Are they all available for November, or some of them are available now? Great. Yeah, great. Sounds good. Okay, okay. So I'll go ahead and send them, and then I'll call you back with their availability. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, guys, let's resume because now time is of essence. Robert, I'll get to your question
No worries.
afterwards.
Appreciate it.
Mercedes, any interesting phone calls this morning?
Let me tell you that I'm ashamed to say this, but I've made my first few calls this morning.
Good deal, good deal.
Tenía un miedo. I didn't get anybody on the phone, but I did leave a voicemail. And as we're speaking, they're calling me back. So let me take this call.
Dale, go for it. Make it
Thank
happen.
you. I'm so scared, but we got this.
No. You got it. Go for it. Okay, anyone here? I know Mike made a call. Anyone on this side? Kevin?
Yeah, nothing.
What do you mean nothing? You made a call in?
Yeah, few.
Okay,
But they'll just voicemail.
voicemail. That's fine. Now let me ask you a question. Are you gonna follow up on these voicemails?
Yeah, I've been calling
Perfect.
actually, like, yesterday I made phone calls. I got an appointment since the last class for this coming Friday for a buyer.
Okay.
But other than that, that's it.
Remember, guys, that in real estate, it teaches you that sometimes you have to approach someone 5 times. So if you're not close to the 5th time, you gotta keep going at it. And by the 5th time, if you do not get a response, move forward. But if you do get some kind of a response, then that's irrelevant because there's some kind of a response. Now you want to follow up on that response. And according like Maya with the health, the seller that has a husband who's got health concern, that's it for her. It's not a matter of 5 times an amount if I don't get the listing. It totally changes. Okay. Robert, any calls? Well, you made some calls.
Yeah, no, just kind of putting things in place. I have a walkthrough tomorrow, and then I also have another client that's interested in Brickell. She has a healthy budget. She's realistic with it, so I know she walked into my portal this weekend. So I just want to follow up. I left her a voicemail. I'm sure I'll speak to her later
It's a
today.
purchase.
No, I'm gonna say it's all rentals right now for me.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Hey, those are future buyer representation, guys.
yeah.
So don't think because it's just a rental, it's a representation, guys. All right, you gotta show property. You gotta prepare some kind of an offer, right? You gotta negotiate that. You gotta close it and you're gonna get paid. Doesn't matter if it's $1,500 compared to $10,000, it's a transaction. At the end of the day, that's what we want. We want to start getting into the habit of that. Victoria?
Mainly through text because the people I need to not see, I know they're at work right now.
Okay, well, okay, now, you know what, you bring up a good point. I'm 55 years old, my people don't text that much. My age group, it's more of the call, but the younger generation today, they like that social media, this and that. Whatever it is that you can establish communication or maintain, go for it, okay? I know that in the past, they used to teach you how to be in front of somebody. It used to be a CTO, come to the office. or go to their place of home, you know, and because we're talking residential, all right? Not the case anymore. If you're dealing with a young individual that's going back and forth and loves communication through gadgets like that, go for it. As long as you make it happen. I just did 2 rentals and one in Wynwood and a couple, engaged couple from Philadelphia. The mother of Alan, or the gentleman, Alan, is a realtor in Houston, Texas with KW. So she found me, she says, can you help them? I don't know if they're renting or buying. I said, that's fine. So when I started talking to them and I showed them some rentals, they said, man, how about the rentals were 3,000, 3,500, 4,000, 2,800. Just how about a purchase? So when I went on ahead and started showing them, not showing them, emailing them stuff, they said, we need to get approved. They got approved for almost 700 grand. Okay, and I'm looking at, holy cow, this is sweet. And a 25% referral. Then they come back and they say, you know what? Alan hasn't reestablished himself here. Cindy did, his fiance, which is the reason why they wanted Wynwood. Something where she can walk, commute, because of transportation. They're gonna buy a vehicle. So they said, can you just rent us something for a year? Absolutely, because I have a probably 700,000 plus dollar buyer if they choose to stay here. And why are they might be a buyer? They're only here for 5 years. So when they started looking at the rentals, times 60 months, they said, wait a second, how about if we buy a mortgage? And guess who helped them think that way? Me. When I started telling them, how long are you planning on staying in? He said, have you considered a purchase? Well, the thing of it is that we're not going to be here long term. It says, that's fine. But what if I put you in a position where instead of paying someone else's mortgage, you pay your mortgage? And when you leave, we sell the property, if that's what you wish. You get all the money back that you've invested in the rental and maybe some appreciation. And for you, it's a win-win because you're cashing back out and you live for free. Oh, I didn't look at it that way. So anyways, I placed them on something like $2,600 overseeing the Intercoastal. That led me to Cindy's friend, Daniel, who said, oh, I'm looking for Brickell. So I put him in Neo Vertica, I think it is. Fancy B crap skyscraper and a penthouse, okay, for I don't know, 3,600 or something like that. I mean, I came up to the balcony and said, oh hell, I won't live here, no way. But for them, beautiful. It's a loft style, concrete polished flooring and all that stuff. I told them, hey, consider, just doing 1 year because he's paying more than Cindy and her boyfriend, Alan. But one is a lead and the other one could be a lead. So follow through with those every 2 months. Hey, how's everything coming along? And then start after 6 months. Hey, just want to let you know how the market is, what the market is dictating. Let them tell you, man, you're great and all of that, but no, or you know what, I am interested. And then how about, the pre-approval process and you go from there. Yaritza, any interesting calls?
Yes, I messaged my app, and I contact somebody that was in the military.
Oh,
in the
nice.
past, That he always it's an older gentleman that I always keep in contact with. That way I let him know what I'm doing, and that if you have any referrals or people that are moving
That's it.
this way, to always consider me.
Good deal. Awesome. Very
So
nice.
I'm just like,
So you planted the seed.
I planted the seed.
Okay, that's planting the seed, guys. And now the follow-up is just watering that seed. So then it can develop and blossom into a transaction. Okay, a beautiful orchid or whatever the case may be. Do you guys know who your productivity coach is by any chance?
What a great you.
Welcome, Christina. Good morning.
Thank you.
How are you?
Great. I wanted to mention if they're taking the 45-hour post, to please look at the study guide. Please start reviewing because it's Friday. So sign up and then the study guide is on that website. Just wanted to
Okay,
put it-
what, you gotta go through this?
Yeah, the flyer's there.
Oh, this one?
On your podium, the podium. You see
Oh,
it?
this one here.
Yes. So if you are taking the 45-hour definitely sign up and get.
Who's taking the 45 hour? 1, 2? No, Kevin, you already, and Elisa, no? And, well, she's only you're gonna take your state exam. Okay, so right here, you have 2.
Got it.
But Victoria's taking her state exam on Sunday.
I know.
Are we taking it after?
You know, she's my admin.
Hmm?
She's my admin.
Oh, very nice, very nice. And Monday, you're gonna be a licensed realtor,
Exactly.
not a salesperson and consultant in the business. All right, good deal, good deal.
Are we taking it after Ignite?
Yes,
Is
it's
that
at
right?
1 PM.
1 p.m.
And Christina, we have Mercedes online, but I think she was taking a couple of return calls while while we were on break. She left messages and she was getting the calls back, but I don't know if you still on the phone?
I'm
with her?
back.
So tell us.
I'm back. So, that was good. That was good for me because, like I've explained, el miedo mío is in real. So, but like I said, she was very receptive. Now my next question is gonna be, because I called and I said, I just want to introduce myself to you as a Keller Williams realtor and as somebody who I've been friends with. And she sounded bien interesada. My question is, how do I go from there? How do I convert that from, hey, I'm a realtor, to make them comfortable to actually work with me? Do I
Okay,
just
so
keep following up?
are we working with a buyer? Who's this called, a buyer or seller?
Basically, ella es una dueña de su casa, so hopefully a seller. She's in my sphere. Ella es she's a friend.
Okay, when you guys, and not only for you, but here present, when you guys signed up with our company, you signed up with a coach that's going to guide you, help you. Did you sign up, Mercedes, with Cristina Candelaria?
Oh, I sure did.
Oh,
On
perfect,
Friday.
perfect, okay. So that's an excellent question to go back to your coach. I don't want to take
Perfect.
deviate from the subject of our class,
Okay.
but she's your go-to person. And
Okay.
this is an excellent, excellent concern, and she'll walk with you through that.
Question hour today, 1 to 2. So.
Perfect. I'll be there.
Okay, perfect. Christina, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome, you're welcome. So guys, how do you feel getting on the phone, even if it's leaving a voicemail message or actually speaking with someone? It kind of puts you in a position, doesn't it, that, you know, you're doing your business, right? I mean, the end of the transaction, when we get paid, that's when you gotta worry, because it's okay, what's my next transaction? Where's my next commission come from? I never think of my commission, guys, and let me tell you, I mean, I not that I don't care, but the thing of it is that's the end result. I gotta worry about, like Mercedes right now. Mercedes might have a possible interested seller. Where do I go from here? Okay. In my case, I know where to go. In her case, or some of your cases, you've got to go back to your coach if you are under coaching, because that's the one that's going to help you. And you put your notes together and you go on ahead and set up your game plan, which leads me to go to page number in your books, I guess page 10. No, page 9. Get your head in the game. Okay, in your books. Negotiations are an integral part of most real estate transactions. And in a survey back in 2014 that was done by the National Association of Realtors regarding buyers and sellers, negotiations ranked second in the list of what buyers want from a realtor, and sixth from what they want from a realtor for sellers end. So with the offer process, negotiation is a pivotal point. It can literally be the deal maker or the deal breaker. Right now, Mercedes has a legitimate concern. She's trying to negotiate to get a possible listing. It could be the lady's home, or if it's not the lady's home, maybe a relative's home, or maybe it's not that she's looking to sell her home. Maybe she wants to become an investor. Maybe she wants to buy a house. She will go on ahead and determine that through her coach in the next step of asking the right questions to then pinpoint, okay, she's a seller or she's a buyer. All right. So in that category, it says negotiations can actually happen twice during this contractual process. during the offer stage with the goal of getting a contract, and during the optional while you're under contract. So negotiations, it's what it says there, bargaining, a give and take process, right? And what's the ultimate goal? You want to reach some kind of an agreement at the end of the day. How many of you have kids? Okay. How many? Well, okay, if you don't have kids, nephews, nieces. All right. What happens when you go visit your nephew and your niece that loves you and adores you? They might tell you, oh, Auntie such and such, or Uncle Bob, Robert, can you take me for ice cream? Okay. That's a negotiating wall. Let me ask you a question. Before I ask mom and dad, have you done your homework? Have you cleaned your room? If depending on what age they are, have you done something? Because it's a give and take. All right. So now let me reflect it back to me. Okay. I'm a father of 3. My first son, he'll be 30. No, he's already 35. No, July 30th, he'll be 35. He lives in Japan. Okay. And then my middle son, he's 30. And then my daughter's 23. And guess what, guys? I always got to negotiate with them. Hey, Dad, I got to pay a bill and that's due tomorrow, and I get paid on Friday. I said, okay, so what does that mean for me? Because what am I doing? I'm not just giving in. I know that I'm going to help them, but I'm not giving in. I'm making them understand that if you are needing a help from me, a hand, I need to get that back, and especially my daughter, she's great at it. She told me that definitely I'll pay you back I get paid direct deposit. Sure enough, and Friday morning comes in and she's bombarding me with texts. Did you transfer? Did you transfer? Because we have, the same bank and have access since she was a little girl that I set up a bank account. But what I'm trying to say is that everything's about negotiating. If you got kids that are in school, I know with this pandemic it's a little hard, but still can be applied. If they're doing the virtual school, what does that mean? They're not going to get dressed? You're going to leave them in PJs? What can that do to them emotionally? Maybe you might tell them, listen, I know you're not in school, it's virtual, but what if you, after you do your room, put your uniform on and get in front of your, computer, it gives you that sense that you're in school, even though you're here. They might not understand it, but you're negotiating with them. So what am I trying to say, and what is this class today teaching, is that negotiations are a part of our life on a constant basis, okay? I just negotiated with my wife in May. No, it actually went back from the beginning of the year, okay? I had a sports car that I was dumping a lot of money into it, and I told her I'm done with it. I want to get it sold. I said, okay, so what are you going to do after that? I said, I don't know, let's see. I got it sold. I put the money away, and a couple of months later, I sold my truck, and I told, man, I'd like to give me a new truck. I said, but you just sold the truck. You didn't need to sell the truck. I said, I know I made a mistake, so we're not going to be able to do that. I said, okay, so I started doing my research, and in doing my research, I would give her information for a couple of months more. At the ending of May, I presented to her, believe it or not, and I'm married over 31 years, and I still got to negotiate this, I told her, listen, I found an option for me to buy, and it's a brand new vehicle truck, but it's not going to be here, it's in Georgia. Look how much money I'm going to save, over $10,000. I said, really? Are you sure about that? Yeah. And look, I got the money from the car that I sold. All I'm going to put is a little bit more. And yeah, but what are you going to do? You're going to sell it in 2 years? No, this is it. And guess what? I convinced her. We did a road trip, June 12th, 11th, and we picked up my truck, and I'm a super happy camper, but I still had to negotiate. Now I have to do the kitchen for her. So now I've already got some work lined up. It's a win-win, but mine won first over hers. What I'm trying to tell you guys is that it's about negotiating. Having said that, I want to show you guys in YouTube Mercedes a video on an individual. And what I want you to focus on, this individual, where he came from. Okay? What did his family do? and how did he apply his family's negotiations to his negotiations in the real estate world. Okay, guys? So let me go in there. Mercedes, can you see this?
Yes, sir.
Tell me if you can hear it.
I'm Josh Anderson
Loud
hear
and
it?
clear.
Okay, perfect.
from Nashville, Tennessee. I've been with Keller Williams since 2006. 2014, we did about 200 transactions for about $60 million in volume. I think there's a lot of skills that go into being a great negotiator. I think it's learning your client instead of kind of assuming that you know what's important to them, really asking a lot of questions and letting them tell you what they need or want, and then speaking to the other agent and finding out what's most important to their client. A lot of it comes down to experience, and I think the more deals you do, the more comfortable you get with it.
Okay. That was quick.
Yep.
Let me close that up. Let me go back here to new share. Wait. Okay, perfect, perfect. What was it that this gentleman spoke about?
About the important, like the main thing that's important to be a negotiator. For me, that video was not very.
Let me see something here. That's not the video that I told these girls to. Give me 1 second, guys. He didn't speak about something. Right here, it's this one. Okay. All right, guys.
I'm Josh Anderson from Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, wait,
I've been with Keller Williams since 2006. 2014, we did about 200 transactions for about $60 million in volume. I grew up on a farm, so I've always seen my dad negotiating land
That's the
and
one.
cows and horses, being the youngest of four, and I'm trading and negotiating with my brothers all growing up. So I've kind of done it all the time. Some people are certainly gravitate toward it and are naturally better at it than others. But I think that negotiation can definitely be learned. I think there's a lot of skills that go into being a great negotiator. I think it's learning your client. Instead of kind of assuming that you know what's important to them, really asking a lot of questions and letting them tell you what they need or want, and then speaking to the other agent and finding out what's most important to their client. And there's some agents that just don't give any. When I have an agent that I'm dealing with that's very tight-lipped, I just keep asking questions, and they give me information that they might not have otherwise given, whether it's a divorce or a death, or it's just they got relocated to some other city. And I think if you're really listening and being intentional and purposeful about listening, you'll find out exactly what's important to them or what they have to have. In certain situations, you have to be creative. We're always looking for that next little tip to help our clients out and win the deals. One of the techniques that we've used a lot that's worked well for us is the escalation clause. For example, if the property is listed at $250,000, we might go in at $250,000 with strong terms, and in special stipulations, we might put in there that we're willing to beat the next best documented offer by $1,000 up to $263,000. And the best offer might be $261,000, so we end up getting it for $262,000. From a client standpoint, be willing to have a real conversation with our clients. It's not us just being realtors for them. It's us consulting and advising and really telling them, if you really want this property, here's what you have to do to get it. Everybody's got a different way of how they would negotiate. And networking with other Keller Williams agents around the country, the more you hear, the more ideas you get. And then you end up gearing it towards you and what you think is going to work best for you and your clients. A lot of it comes down to experience. And I think the more deals you do, the more comfortable you get with it. If you can step back from every transaction and learn something, you're going to get really good over time.
There you go. That's the video.
I like that one better.
No, this was the video that I was supposed to,
Much more informative.
yep, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so when did this guy begin his real estate career?
Oh, that I didn't.
2006,
And
okay?
the top producer.
In 2006, from where? Nashville, Tennessee. How many transactions did he do in 2014? Come on, guys. You guys didn't take notes?
I did, but not about his numbers.
200 transactions, $60 million, okay? And what was it that helped him to be able to get that success? He was one of how many siblings? 4. He was the youngest. A farmer. And what was it that his dad did a lot of? Negotiating what?
Cows, land.
Exactly, cattle, okay? So what did he do? He applied that principle to real estate. And look what he did, what was it? 8 years later, okay, in 2014. So negotiations are, once again, a part of our lives, right? One of the things that he mentioned in there was 3 tips. Learn your client, okay? What do you mean by learn your client?
Asking questions, listening, learning about their needs.
That is correct. That is correct. When you do that, what are you doing? You're being intentional, purposeful. You want to make sure that you're in tune with what their needs are. What does a car salesman do? I mean, I buy cars every 2-3 years. I hope I can change that. But it's gotten to the point for me when I come in, it's like, oh my God. Okay, they want to show you this and that, and I say, listen, I want information on that, on this vehicle. Oh, but you know, what about this one? Okay, they're not listening. All they're looking is probably which vehicle is going to give me my greatest commission. You know, maybe I'm undersold. I haven't met my quota and things of that nature. Those are the wrong reasons. They're still thinking, but they're thinking in the wrong perspective. Us in this business, it's not about us. It's about our client, okay? If it's a buyer, what are their needs to go on ahead and take care of? If it's a seller, negotiating to put them in the best position possible, in this case, to maximize the sale of a property. If you guys have questions, please feel free to ask. Tip number 2, he spoke about one tactic. What was it? Escalation clause. What is escalation clause? Are you guys familiar with it?
Yeah, so you could say like, hey, my maximum amount that I'm willing to pay is $350,000 for the property, but currently offers are at 300. So I'll keep beating those offers by like 1,000 until it reaches my maximum. So you don't have to put forward your best offer immediately and raise the price. You could just continually, gradually outbid everyone.
Exactly, because you're kind of outbidding a lot of people at that point, you know. But does it always work? I don't think so. It can, maybe in other markets. It's very tough here in Miami because our inventory is very low. And that's why I'm going to share with you my first experience. A couple of weeks ago, I listed a property Friday in Homestead inside a gated community. A 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, 1,865 square feet. The prior sales in May was 328 and 344. Okay. She tells me, Louis, I extended my kitchen cabinets by another row. And by doing that, you know, obviously the counter extended and the backsplash extended. Okay. I bought the house brand new from the builder, Lennar. Out of the 4 bedrooms that 2 are in the upper right front. Number 3 in the master. Number 3, she opened up a wall oval at the time of having the builder construct the home. So in other words, when her home was built, it was built with those changes on the cabinet, and the master bedroom blends into the bedroom number 4, which is now like a sitting area, gymnasium, office, so on and so forth. This is a divorced lady. All her kids are grown up professionals, grandkids, and they live just north of her. So this house, when she bought it, it was all hers. Very nice wall cap, and she tells me, Louis, these are the upgrades I've done. I said, absolutely. I like the fact what you did with your kitchen, but unfortunately, I've got to let you know that by you opening up that 4th bedroom, you're no longer a 4-bedroom. Now you're a 3-bedroom. That's going to hurt us in the appraisal. Well, I guess it is what it is. I said, but let's play with the market, because right now properties that are coming in like yours, when I have the videos done and the photography done, I'm going to get appointments and offers, and I want to position you for the best possible. I says, okay, Louis, I trust you. I pray to God, and let's see how this happens. So 328, 344, I told her, I think your price point is going to be in the 350s. Okay, but I also want to negotiate. So let's put above that. So if we negotiate down to 350s, 360, then we can be closer to the appraisal. But let's see what kind of an offer can I attract that will supersede. In other words, when the appraisal comes in, they're willing to pay a little bit more. She says, okay, let's do it. I listed it on a Friday. Saturday, I had 7 showings. I was going crazy, okay, because it's a gated community. I had to go with the clicker. She didn't set up in the directory for people to, punch in the code. Long story short, I got offers that day, 3 offers that day. I showed it on Monday. I showed it on Tuesday and Wednesday. Boom, and we closed up. No more showings. I put it pending. I got multiple offers at list price and above. The one that we chose was $379,000
How much did you list it for?
for $379. Appraisal, excuse me, will pay up to $15,000 above appraised value. 15. The other ones came in. One came in at 5,000. The other one just said, appraised value. So I told her, okay, this one, and I sent it to her attorney. What it does is if the appraisal comes in at 350, you're selling it for 365. We are going to be the highest price compared to the 328 offer and the 344 that's recently sold 2 months ago. Okay, are you okay with that? She said, yeah, I'm okay with that. So that was at the offering stage. What did I do? I showed my own listings, which is another encouragement that I offer you guys. Show your own properties. Why? You want to identify with the buyer. You want to identify with the buyer's agent. Okay? And mind you, I had 2 agents that set up and I confirmed them for appointments. And they told me, oh, listen, I'm lost. I can't find it, but my buyer's there. Can you show it to them? I said, sorry, that's not going to happen. Oh, but they're already there. It says, I understand. I see them out there. But you need to be here so you could be procuring cause. Do you know what procuring cause? Yeah, I know what that is, but unfortunately, I can't. One of them says, give me a little bit of time. I said, not a problem. I have other showings. If you make it here and other showings, wait until I'm done, and then I'll show the property to you. And sure enough, it had to happen that way. You know why, guys? This is your business. We bust our hump to spend money, to go on ahead and do what we've got to do as professionals. Make sure your counterpart agent is doing it the same way. Don't let those agents trick you into, oh, I'm lost, I can't, but you know what, my buyer's there. BS, they're probably in their living room of their home. And they're probably saying, no, just go, I'll get you in, don't worry about it. The buyer doesn't know any better. And get a load of this. What if that buyer wants to submit an offer? Did the buyer's agent see the home? Did the buyer agent see the extension of the kitchen that we added another cabinet, both on top? Oh, mind you, those were not original kitchen cabinets from the builder, which are 30 inches. These were 42 inches wood. The 30 inches original from the lender are inside the garage, which I showed it to them. I'm there narrating the story, how my client purchased this property, how my client at the pre-construction time did the changes. But the realtor that wanted to send that the buyers, if I would have given in and they said I would have presented an offer, that buyer's agent would not have known. Okay? That's why be careful when you are listing a property, because I know if you guys are representing a buyer, you're going to be there. Especially you guys that are young in the business, you want to be there. You want to see the home. You want to make sure that your clients are looking at the property and they're agreeing. In other words, they're saying this is it. Where you can say inside, damn, I think I nailed it in the head. I think this is the property for them. Because there's different stages, guys. So in this session today, it tells you at the pre-offer stage, right? That's what I negotiated on behalf of my seller. What kind of pre-offer are we going to consider? And we actually considered two of them. That one, and then the next best one, which was $379 and willing to pay up to $5,000 above appraised value. And in no time did I tell her, oh wow, that's $384. No, guys, because at $379, I know I'm not getting the appraisal at that price. And I kept insisting and telling her, Lori's my seller. Remember, we inflated this price to negotiate, but apparently everyone's offering that. So you know very well that we're not going to come in at that price. So now we got to start considering appraised value, somewhere in the 350, 350s, plus this one is 5,000, but this one's 15,000. Okay, Louis, let's take this one, but can we put the second one on the backup? That's absolutely. Let's execute this one here. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys on the pre-offer stage as a listing agent, what I had to do. When I was showing the property, at the end of my tour, I would tell the realtor and their buyers, I says, guys, this is not customary to share, but I need you to understand as their realtor representative, we've had multiple showings and we're already getting offers, okay? My seller is not going to sell at appraised value, okay? This is normally buyers, we don't have this conversation, but I don't want to beat around the bush. So that way, in case you go back to your realtor, you already know from the seller's end what our expectations are. And you as their buyer's agent, any questions you may have, and then afterwards, definitely love to, go over whatever we got to do with you. But just like I'm talking to you all, I'm talking to all the showings. Is that okay? Oh, no, thank you. We appreciate it very much. And they took off on their merry way. What did I do, guys? I've already established in the negotiating stage the firmness that we have on our side. Okay? Gives it very limited to the buyer's side. But guess what? What kind of a market are we in?
Sellers.
Exactly. Sellers are pretty much dictating, right? My first appointment was somebody who calls me, and guys, this happens all the time. We're not working with a realtor. Maybe you can show it to us, and if we like it, can you represent us? I said, yeah, but I already have appointments set up. I said, let me speak to the seller, let me find out. So I always get to the home 15 minutes or so earlier, and they have told me that they were down the street. I guess they live close by. The seller says, go ahead, Louis. So I went on ahead and called them. They came in, and by showing them the property, they look at the backyard, Waterstone 1 in Homestead. Some of those backyards, well, most of those backyards are small. They said, Louis, we love the house. Married couple, no kids, but they want to start a family. But the backyard is too small. I said, not to worry. If I have your contact information, let me take care of all my showings, this and that. How about next week if we have a conversation? And boom, a buyer lead there that I kind of put away. Is it going to happen or not? I don't know. But that's the market that we're in right now. Yes, sir, Robert.
So I'm just curious about your strategy. setting up negotiating, right? Because normally, like from what I've seen in other classes, that pyramid pricing, like you want to be in that sweet spot where you get the most traffic to come in, but you actually went against that and you listed higher where you really anticipated, right? Then were you fearful that you're gonna like limit the amount of people? Were you surprised about the amount of people that came?
Not at all, because I looked at my active market, pending sale and closed sale. There's a lot of activity. Waterstone has many subdivisions. This one is called Portofino Estates. I know because being in the business so long, all of that, I used to be a realtor when all of that was cow pasture land. Okay? And now it's completely built out. So I already know that Portofino Estates is it's a very highly sought after because they have the single family homes. When you come in after the guard gate that you do your rotunda, it's on the left-hand side. You got Marbella Cove and then you got Portofino Estates. People like it. They're not the biggest properties. You know, there's other ones along Waterstone Way, but that one there was attractive. And second, although I did see the 328 sale and the 344 sale, one of the two, I think the 344 was a corner lot, which, you know, gives it a little bit more value. I'm not in a corner lot. So I figured, okay, Louis, don't use that as a standardized what in the past it is. Are you the only 1,865 square foot home available right now when you come in the market? Yes, I am. Okay. What's the next price point? The next price point was $399, I think it was. I said, okay, $399. I got 328, 344. I know my price point is going to be in the 350s. Man, let me negotiate. At even at 5%, that puts me in the 370s. Yeah, I can negotiate 5% because that's what I was thinking. We would negotiate. And my seller was fine in going in a contract in the 350s, okay, based on the two sales and based on inflating the price. But Jesus Christ, none of the offers came in below that. You know? Now, what was the things that the buyer's agent would tell me? Hey, Louis, I know it's a crazy market. We don't know, you know, if it'll come in or not. It says, I don't think it will. But the fact that you're willing to put above appraised value, that gives us a cushion that we're going to get more than the appraised value. Because at the end of the day, we're not selling at appraised value. So a couple of them understood that. Yes, ma'am.
So that's probably a rookie question, but you're setting up a price, $379, but then.
A list price. That means that.
No, like when you're giving an offer.
Oh,
When
okay.
you're filling out the as-is, you're the buyer, I'm the buyer's agent,
Okay.
right? And I'm giving a $379, but I have that clause that says I'm gonna give 1,500 above, 15,000 above the appraisal price. Appraisal, let's say the appraisal come in at 350. Then the buyer is gonna buy the house at 365 and the 379 doesn't count anymore.
Correct, because it's still subject to financing and what the bank is going to evaluate it at. But
So 379 doesn't, like the offer, the price that you're offering doesn't really matter. It's really the conditions.
correct.
The appraisal.
You know what? That's a
the
great
thing that we
question.
never understood.
That's a great question that you lead me to, because as a predominant listing agent, I don't care what the contracted offer price is.
Because that's not the one.
Because
that
I
you're
know if it's going to arrive at that price or not. So I let my sellers know, don't think about that because it's subject to appraisal. So that price is gonna get defeated by the appraisal. Okay, Louis, so where do we go from here? In the special terms.
Right, so tweaking.
That's what, exactly,
You still try to get that 379.
which is what Josh Anderson said. Price and terms. That's where you negotiate, guys, in the terms. In the term. You go buy a car, okay? Let me go back to my truck, okay? I got approval of various banks. Great, this and that. What am I looking at? Oh, $617 a month. I said, no way. I'm paying nowhere close. Well, where were you at? I was at $491 with my other truck. Okay, so where do you want to be now? I want to be in the low 400s. I'm giving you a huge down payment. Okay, well, let me see what we can do. In this sight unseen, it's in Georgia. I didn't travel up there. I traveled when the truck was waiting for me to go pick it up. Okay, but that's where the price and terms came. and I wound up going with 449 with a bank called Wells Fargo, but they had different options. And to me, it was about payment, because as a realtor, commission based, I live off a budget on a monthly basis. So if I had a budget of 491 and I had money to come in with, and if I can get me a brand new truck for less than what I was paying for the 2018, that's a no-brainer. So it's in the terms. Going back here, yes, when you guys look to submit an offer and the offer, the list price is 350, but you look at your your closed sales and they're in the low 300s, then you got to start concerning yourself where if we offer 350, the listing agent might know this. They still might not accept it. Because I also got a couple of offers, 379 subject to appraisal, like a VA loan, okay? And then the buyer says, man, these people love the house, they're willing, he's a veteran and this and that. And I say, hey, you know what, inside of me, that's all good. But at the end of the day, I'm looking out for my seller. I got to maximize the sale for my seller. So man, this is a done deal. Their VA, they got their eligibility. We're closing, but it's subject to appraisal. I said, absolutely, very strong offer. I'll present it to my seller and her attorney. Every email. Thank you for your offer. I will be forwarding to the seller and their attorney. Once they review and make a decision, comma, they will instruct me what to do, and I will reach back out to you. Right then and there, guys, if it's the buyer's agent, if I'm receiving that, immediately I'm calling my buyer, hey, you know, he got the offer, he presented it, but he's not making the decisions. They have an attorney. You know, the seller has an attorney, so you know, I'll just let you know. Just pray on it. That's it. If I was a buyer's agent, that's all I would do. You know, how does that put me as a listing agent when the decision is made, even which I was asked, which one do I pick? Obviously, it was a no-brainer. You know, but the other agents that were turned down, they don't know what all the offers came in for. You can't. It's unethical. But I let them know, thank you for your opportunity, for your patience. However, the seller and their attorney chose another offer, period. We wish you the very best. Because remember, my seller and the realtor's buyer, they come in and out of the market. Who stays in the industry? The buyer's agent that you met and me, right? What if in the near future, the roles are reversed? They're the listing agent and I'm the buyer's agent. You don't want that realtor to say, oh, this is Luis Badillo, that cocky realtor that treated me this way and that way. So, okay, let's see. And then I happen to turn in an offer. Guess what? It can work backfire. Another reason why I want you guys be humble. Okay, besides being humble, be informative. Besides being informative, make rapport with your buyer's agent. I have a very good reputation in this agent, not because I have a good looking face. I don't think I have a good looking face, but it's because of the way I do my business. I stay in tune with my realtor. And what did Josh Anderson say in the video? You know, look for the needs of the seller and the buyer, you know, the buyer's agent, okay? Because you will create a type of reputation that people, I mean, the way I'm known in this industry is that I'm very straightforward. I don't budge, and that I am not going to take anything that's unethical about it. But if you're coming in with the right buyer, willing to pay the money, that's what I'm looking for. And if that buyer's agent knows that they have that, they might be looking and saying, Luis, I think we're going to do business. I think I've got the type of buyer that you want. So really? All right, let's do it. Come on, let's meet. And so on and so forth. So any questions? Mercedes, all good with you? I just want to hear your voice.
I'm right here and everything is all good. I'm absorbing it all. And yes, you're not a bad looking guy.
Thank you. You're the second one. My wife is the first one. You know, guys, we got to put some humor into life because right now where I'm at here, I'm here with you. I love everything that I'm going with you guys. but I am going crazy business-wise. I have so much stuff waiting for me, but guess what? Everyone takes their turn. And today is your turn for me to elaborate on negotiating the deal, because once we are done here today, you guys are gonna have a better understanding, and you're gonna be able to correlate real estate to your own personal life, whether it's a boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, kids, anyone that you interact with on a daily basis, that you have to kind of negotiate in one way, format, or another. Yes, sir, Robert.
So when you alluding to the buyer's agent, like, hey, well, I'm not really gonna I appreciate the 15,000 over appraisal, but we're still standing firm at 379. Like, is it up to the buyer agent has to just know, okay, well, let me review the contract and maybe I can convince them to put less down payment, add that to more to the appraisal.
No, on this one, I asked her, okay, what did you mean? Because she put, in the way she worded, I wasn't comfortable with it. But I wanted to know from her, what was her buyer's offer? And basically is 379. So let's say the appraisal comes in at 379, they're paying 379 plus 15. Okay, so that part of it I understood. But if it comes in at 360, they're paying 375, 355, 370. I said, okay, I'm not comfortable with the wording. Would you allow me, allow me no. I'm going to forward this to the seller and their attorney that I mentioned to you and explain to them, maybe the attorney might, change the wording around. Yeah, Louis, that's not a problem. Absolutely. When I send it to my seller and the attorney, I said, John, can you please look at this wording? And basically, in a nutshell, what she said was that they're willing to pay this and this. I put the scenarios that I just mentioned. If that wording is not sufficient, suggest a wording. Sure enough, a day later, he suggests another wording. So in that counter offer, because it was a counter offer on terms, not on price, I made that, my seller signed it, and we sent it off. And she said, Louis, I don't understand this. And then that's when I said, you know what? Why don't we let the title company that you chose speak to my seller's attorney? Because you and I know what is it that we want. And if your buyer is not, because the buyer wasn't comfortable with the wording that the attorney put, why don't you let them speak? Which is my seller's attorney and the title company for the buyer. Because there's two parties to this transaction, all right? And sure enough, they came back and they said, yeah, sure, Louis, not a problem. My buyer's gonna sign it initially, that change, and we're going into contract.
So, again, rookie question. Counter offer, do you modify the conditions in the original as is contract that you received?
I strike through it.
Okay.
Morning, guys.
Morning.
How's it going?
Morning.
What time you gonna be out of here?
12:30.
Make it 12.
12.
I'll buy you lunch if you're up by 12.
12. 12:15.
Okay.
Anyways, yes, any modifications, I can't delete it. No, but a strike through indicates that something came in and then you made a change. You did a strike through, and then below it, to the side of it, whatever, you put the counter and then your initials. Or, your client's initials, whether you're a buyer or seller. You understand?
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions? Okay. The 3 P's approach to negotiation: prepare, present, and position. Let's go to the first one, prepare. And it says here, turn to page 16. Now we're going to get into a textbook buyer-seller scenario. It should say your turn, prepare to negotiate. Does it say that on page 16?
Yeah.
Okay. So, excuse me, it says read the scenario below, identify the key areas in which you need more information with certainty before you could confidently negotiate on your client's behalf. And then 3, write 3 specific questions you would ask your client in the space provided below. So this is what I want you guys to do. I'm gonna read out loud the scenario. I want you guys to write down 3 questions that you would ask based on this scenario. Okay? We're gonna go over those 3 questions. It says here 15 minutes, but no, I'm gonna give, this is a small crowd, I'm gonna give you 7 minutes. Let's go on ahead and read the scenario. And it's as follows. You're representing a single buyer, so you're a buyer's agent. Put that in your mind. Your client is renting, hint, her present property. Like any first-time buyer, hint, she's looking to you to guide her through the process. The asking price for the home she really loves is $175,000. The house appears to have evidence of a roof leak. However, the listing is as is. And as per the scenario, it's listed at a good price, correctly priced. Your client would like to keep her payments as low as possible. Is this a throw off, guys? Since she still has a number of student loans to pay off, and I'm going to tell you why that's a throw off. She wants to write an offer for $155,000. There has been quite a bit of activity on the listing. Doesn't say multiple offers. Let's go based on this. I want 3 questions of what you, as a buyer's agent, based on your client, you would ask her based on this scenario. Dale. It's 11:28 at 11:35. I'm gonna stop you all. If you guys are done before the time, let me know.
I have two questions.
Go ahead.
That I came.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. And Robert? 3.
I'm ready.
Kevin?
2.
Yaritza?
3 plus.
Oh, good. Victoria? 1. And Mercedes?
I have 4.
Oh, okay. So we're ready. Let's go. Let's jump right into it, guys. Man, you guys are good. All right. Mercedes, what's the first question you would ask your buyer?
Well, for this, with this one, the first thing that jumped out at me was a student loan debt. How much is your student loan and how much is owed on that? The second thing I wanted to ask, of course, the typical question, what is the best offer you can present?
Okay.
The other one that I have, like the one that really stuck out was a student loan thing, because I know that gets in the way. And then of course, how soon do you want to move? And how much would you have for a down payment?
Okay. Those are great questions. But guys, those questions are resolved when? At the pre-qualification. When I read exactly when I read your client would like to keep her payments as low as possible. What did I tell you there? That's like guys, your pre-approval already has that in place. So it doesn't matter. And if your buyer tells you that, you tell them, but hang on a second. Your lender knows that you have these two. Oh yeah. They approved me based on that. I say, okay. So that's not really material here. Okay.
Got it.
Okay, but great questions. Maya?
So the two questions that I came up with are questions that we already knew because of the pre-approval, which is what's your down payment, because that would affect how much you're paying per month, and that can be a good thing, a good condition for the offer, and how low do you want the payments to be.
But once again, those are pre-qualification.
Exactly.
Robert?
So one question was, how did you calculate your offer price of 155?
Great question. Great question. I would ask that, absolutely.
And then the other one, because you said like hint first time buyer, so I was like gonna kind of go touch base on like her financing. Are you doing conventional, or how do you feel about going to FHA?
Well, but that's the lender part of it. That I don't deal with that. I don't deal with that, guys. But the first one's a good question. Kevin?
Yeah, I will ask why can we make a better offer instead of 155? And based on the down payment that she's put in, because she has the student loan, but it's the same thing, like you said,
That's related to the pre-qualification, Yaritza?
I will ask, what is that you like about this property?
That's the question right there. What are you doing when you ask that question? You're tying into emotions. And emotions, most of the times, make or break a deal.
So she's starting.
That's the first
The
question.
way that I look at it, okay, it's listed at 175. We see it that it's as is.
And correctly priced.
Yeah, it's correctly priced, but it has an issue, and she, I will guide her to, before she makes an offer, see options. Because she's looking for something specific. Have you looked besides this, anything else? Can I show you some options so you can feel confident?
Well, hang on a second. How many offers are you presenting? Because you're presenting an offer here. And you just said for what options? So are you doing multiple offers in different homes?
No, that's what I'm saying. I want to make sure that she was well assessed when it comes to, she liked that, but that doesn't mean that's the one. Are you sure? Did I did my job showing you the different options? Because this specific one is priced right, but is as is. Compare if I can find her something similar that actually I'm sure that is in all well conditions. Are we considering those options? Because at the end of the day, I'm not the listing. I'm the buyer, so I owe my everything to my buyer. So I want to make sure that she's making the right decision, not that something pops up after she closed,
That's
the
it.
whole leak. I'm like,
Absolutely.
are we considering that situation that the house have? Can I get all that need, all that love that you like here, and can we put it somewhere else that we feel more secure about
There
that?
you go.
That's the way I.
So that way you can pinpoint on that.
Correct.
Victoria?
The question, well, Robert Hunch, that I had written was, what takes you to $155,000? And is that your best and highest offer?
Okay, perfect, perfect. Guys, all of those are great questions. Okay. Here it asks me to say, the first one is, what is it about this house that makes it your favorite? Okay, because guys, when we tie in emotions, then we can expand afterwards in the next step. If there's no emotions, guys, you know, it's like when you're buying a car. Are you buying a car because you got to buy a car? Or are you buying a car because you need a car, right? But and then what is it that can you afford? And based on what can you afford, you're gonna look for something that you like, right? Because no one buys a car that says, I hate this car, and they just drove it off the dealer. I mean, have you heard anyone say that? No? I mean, I did once. But it was a little Mercedes, it was for my wife. I drove it from the dealer. When I got home, I said, I hate this car. This seat is too tight for me. Thank God it's not mine. But what I'm trying to say is that when you're buying, tie it into the emotional part of it, okay? It says, what is the possibility of you paying for the repair and we stay at your asking price of $155? In other words, the textbook is asking, go back to the seller, hey, pay for the repairs. And no, that they pay for the repairs, excuse me, the buyer pays for the repairs and they remain at the 155. We don't know if the seller already has a quote of 10, 15, 20 grand. And they figure if I put that money plus 175, let's say if it's 15 grand, man, I have to sell my house at 190. It's not going to be correctly priced. Let me let the buyer, which is a necessity, a roof, okay? So then all of a sudden now the seller might be open to that, you know, that, okay, the buyer is buying it as is. I don't have to do anything, but now they're trying to negotiate me down the price. So that might be an avenue. And then the third, what if the seller counters with a full offer to fix the roof or counters with no repair at all? So now that tells you that the buyer says 175 and I fix the roof. Okay?
But isn't it says why did I? Isn't it says that the seller is gonna sell it as is?
Correct.
So we.
But this is what they're offering. Once you have a contract, things can change. An offer. Things can change, you know? And in that offering process, that's when you got to go back and forth. You're negotiating, okay? Just like you know, if you got kids, or when you were a kid, if you ask your parents, I want this, and yes, I want this, yes. Oh my God, your whole life you were never told no. That's a problem when you become an adult, you know? But if you were raised in a family that, oh my God, okay, I have to do something to get that. I really want that laptop or those AirPods. Oh my God, but I know my parents the way they are. They're gonna tell me to do this or that. So that's already been instilled at a young age, you know? Real estate is part of our business to be able to negotiate in the pre-offer stage, which is, this is where we're at right now. So great questions. Now, let's go to page
Present. 17.
17. Wait, no. Okay, doesn't have it here. Page 17, present. All right, move into the negotiation process by presenting your current offer to the cooperating agent and listening to the response. So what I want you to do is I want to put you guys together. Yaritza and Kevin, I want to put you guys together. Mercedes, I think you, me, and Victoria. No, I'm going to put you and Victoria. Well, how are we going to do this? Because you guys are going to hear it. It doesn't matter. Mercedes and Victoria. Victoria's the first one there. Can you see her?
I know Victoria. Hey, girl.
Okay, so this is what I want to do. I want to do a little role playing between yourselves, all right? It doesn't matter who, y'all, I got three groups. One is the buyer's agent and one is the listing agent. So the first thing that I want you guys to do is call the other agent, let them know the offer or counter offer is coming. Then invite them into the buying loop. Let's not worry about that. I also want you to pay, and you guys will be able to do it. These two will be able to do it here. Attention to nonverbal cues. While it is not always possible to make your presentation in person, a face-to-face meeting allows you to analyze body language and expressions. Keep quiet once you present an offer. Listen carefully to what the other party, what's important to the other party. Stay calm and relaxed. Focus on the customer's needs. Do you guys want to do this first one with me? Because there's a lot of things that it's asking of you. Okay, guys. So let's do this. 17. All right, let's do this. I'll be the listing agent. Okay. You are all going to be the buyer's agent. So it says the first thing, call the other agent and present the offer. So one of you pick yourselves one who's going to call me and how you're going to present the offer. So one of you pick whoever it is, or just start talking and I'll listen in.
Okay.
You don't want me to pick one of you guys?
Good morning, Louis. This is Robert.
Good morning, Robert.
Good morning. Thank you so much for taking the time to really go in depth during the open house this weekend.
Thank you.
We got a lot of great feedback from my client, and I wanted to let you know that we have an offer that we're putting together, and I will be presenting that to you later today.
Great. Thank you very much. So right there, call the other agent, let them know the offer is coming, right? Perfect. Now, it says here, pay attention to nonverbal cues. We normally don't present offers in person, but I'm going to share with you an offer that I presented on behalf of a buyer on a property. Let me set up the scenario, okay? The property came in the market on Monday. I saw the property a couple of days later, Wednesday. It came in the market for 1.5 million in Coral Gables, in the north end of Coral Gables, okay? I send it to my client. My client says, I like that property. Let's go see it. Friday, day number 5 of the listing, we make an appointment. It happens to be showing number 2, okay? I had a gut feeling this was the property for my buyer. I showed it to him and his significant other, went through the whole property with the realtor, everything great. He tells me, prepare an offer. I says, okay, terrific. At that point, I already knew he was a cash purchase. I already knew the kind of buyer. He's the CEO of a phone company called TracFone. They sell them in Walmart, those prepaid phones, okay? So I know he had money, and he put me in contact with his financial advisor out of Texas, a big company that manages his portfolio. So everything's there. So he tells me, Louis, what do you think this property should go for? I says, okay, the property just came in the market on Monday. It hasn't been even a week. This is going to be close to list price. He said, no, I'm not paying that. I says, okay, what are you interested in paying, in offering? 1.1. So immediately I said, this is 2008, guys. Because we closed in August, July, June. Yeah, I think it was June. I says, okay, Mr. Buyer, not to not disclose his name. I says, I'll gladly present the offer to you for them, not a problem, but expect a counter offer. So submit it. Let's see. We'll see what we do. So the deposit was 10%, 110,000, cash offer. Okay. So when I get the offer prepared and everything, I call the listing agent. In the MLS, this is a tip that I'm giving you guys. I always look at the listing agent, the license number. If they're a new agent or an old agent. This is an old agent, 0 something. My license is 306-8840. This is 06 something. This guy is an old school. So I said, okay, he's gonna like that face-to-face. Rafael, I have an offer to present to you, but I definitely need to do it in person. Okay, maybe we can get together for un cafecito. I say, yeah, that's fine. Where do you want to go? We met at the Versailles of Southwest 8th Street. And as we meet, we're having cafecito. I present to him the offer. I says, don't shoot the messenger and don't kill the deal, because I think we can make this happen. So he looks at it and he says, sure, not a problem. I'll go on ahead and present this to my client and we'll go from there. At that time, I didn't know who the seller was. The seller is a famous developer in Coral Gables that does commercial buildings. Okay. All right. First name George. I ain't gonna go to the last name. So okay, cool, perfect. He goes on ahead and sends it to. Then from there, we never met again. Everything was through email. 1.5 million, 1.1 offer. Guess what the counter offer came at? 1,495,000. $5,000 less. To an executive, because these people, they don't want you to tell them, hey, how to build a watch. They want you to tell, hey, what time is it? That's pretty much it. They don't beat around the bush. I send him the email that says, please look at this kind of offer. And I know it's not what you're looking at. Give me a call when you have time. He calls me up and says, Louis, this guy thinks he's playing around. I said, sir, you got to understand that this was not even a week ago, and you presented a lowball offer, but as my instruction says, Louis, I don't want to beat around the bush. What's it going to take? I said, let's offer 10% under that, 1.350, and I think we'll get it. And by the way, I was also told that he is building a house for his family. He's going to need an extended closing. Are you okay with that? Because I already knew he owns a house in the Roads, and the woman he was going to get together with, I don't know where she lives, but not with him, He said, that's not a problem. I said, it could be like a couple of months. That's fine, because it's a cash deal. And back then, cash deals, you could do them in 1 week, 1.5, 2 weeks. So I listened to the seller's needs through their realtor. And guess what? We got it approved at 1.350. Okay? So pay attention to nonverbal cues. Keep quiet once you present an offer. Listen carefully to what's important to the other party. Stay calm and relaxed. Focus on the other customer's needs and give your offer the best chance. All of that, I exercised it by that one cafecito I had with the listing agent. Now, let's go back to the future, to the present. Can that be done now? Absolutely. Do I encourage you? Absolutely. All right. Are you a pandemic freak or the listing agent? I don't know, but try it. Because if you're going to present an offer, and I know that this market is different than that market, okay? That market wasn't like as volatile as this one was, all right? That market back there, we had begun a recession, okay? From the boom that started in 04, 05, and some into 06, and then the market just started crumbling, and 7 and 8 were the foreclosure world. But this guy was not about that. This guy was about situating, getting together with a woman that had 2 boys of her own, in which in the prerogatives that they set for me, I had to find private schools. So yeah, I found Riviera Preparatory Academy close by and things of that nature, and a house with a pool, that they went on ahead and were needs that they were looking for, okay? So because of that, I ask you that in today's world, if you got to meet with someone, and especially this crowd right here, you guys are young in real estate, go on ahead and meet your counterpart. Have an eye-to-eye contact. Have un cafecito, okay? Go as far as that. Or if they are the listing agent that shows the property, that you've met them there, maybe you might tell them, hey, look, it was great meeting you. I love the way you did your approach, and I want to present you an offer. I'd love to do it in person. Can we meet for coffee? Most of the times they're going to tell you, oh man, I'm too busy. I can't. Okay. Then it's up to you how you're going to approach it then. But in the presentation on this class, you notice all of this. If you do it over the phone, you're not going to be able to see the responses. But how do you counter that then? If that would have been me with Rafael, I would have told him, listen, I understand that, you know, at this moment you can't meet, but I got to present this offer to you. When you receive the email and you open up the offer, please don't kill the messenger. You and me are realtors and we got to put deals together. All right. With the exception of the offered price, this is a very good buyer. Look at it and give me a call back before you even submit it to your seller. All right, Louis, I'll do that. Would I have gotten a call back or not? Chances are from him, yes. Okay. It all depends on who's the listing agent today, you know, if that would have been the case or not. But you've got to feel them out. Okay. You got to listen. When you're showing a property, that's the reason why, as a buyer's agent, you've got to be there to see the property. Because if it's a property that's abandoned, and they've been living there 10 years, that kind of gives you an indication, oh, these are sellers that they didn't care, you know, they just needed a roof over their head. Or if it's like a client of mine, Lori, who has a contract on the AC unit, okay, who has cameras, you know, all over her house, on a small house, 1865, then that's a seller that's in tune with her living ways, how cute and how clean, how organized the home was. And then, okay, now you're dealing with certain emotions, but you don't know that as a buyer's agent unless you're there showing the property. And obviously, listing agents most of the times are not present, okay? But if they are present, then, you know, in that conversation with them, you know, like at the end, a couple of these realtors says, I'll definitely be getting back with you. Says, I love the opportunity. Thank you so much. And thanks for coming by and seeing the home, you know? That's as much as I can go as far as in the presentation. Any questions, Mercedes or anyone here local? I mean, in person. No. Mercedes, any questions?
No, sir, just listening.
Okay, okay. And I'm not picking on you. It's just that I have to,
No, I'm here. I get it. You have to make sure I'm listening.
okay. If you go to page 18, examples of nonverbal cues. First of all, I'm going to be straightforward. A lot of this doesn't apply to Latinos because we use hands, we use so many things. I mean, you know, we're not the type of individuals that I have an offer that I'm presenting to you. Please take a look at it and tell me what you think. No, that's not me. That's not me. Straight from the top. So when you see a face-to-face, open gestures, nodding. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. This is my notes. Let's go over it together. On a face-to-face, what would be a positive nonverbal cue?
Active listening.
Yeah. You're talking, I'm doing, right? What if you're talking and I'm like,
It's negative.
You don't look like you're interested.
or
That you're
I'm
annoyed.
upset
Or that
or I'm not, you know, I'm in agreement, you know? So that takes care of the open gestures. What if we're sitting down? Okay. All right. We're facing each other. And what if I'm doing this?
Negative.
Defense, exactly. You know? Or what if I'm like something like this, receptive, right? You see what you have to look out for? Oh man, Mercedes didn't see that, but Mercedes.
I get the picture.
Oh, you did?
I know, I said
Okay.
I
Oh,
get
you
the
get the
picture.
Oh, you get the
Yeah.
picture, okay.
I understand.
Open palms, these may indicate agreement, understanding interest, nodding, sitting back. A closed gesture would be your crossed arms, lack of eye contact. And that's one thing, guys, that I love to do when I teach, when I'm speaking to someone, when I speak to my family. I like to see you straight in the eye, and I want you to see me straight in the eye. My son, my 30-year-old, oh man, he's worse than I am. Because he's even told me and my wife, he's talking to us, says, you listening to me? I say, yeah, but I'm looking. I said, well, look at me, you know? My son will be more blunt on that, but they want to capture your attention, you know? And that's, at the end of the day, that's what you want. You want to capture attention to whoever you're speaking with, right? Okay. Now, if you're the type that this, gets you red cheeked, and you're blushing and this and that, well, you better start correcting it by role playing with somebody. Even here, in between you guys, the students are encouraged that while you're doing Ignite, hold one another accountable. You guys work together, or?
Yeah, we sit down, like, role play, script play.
Oh, also, you have done role play, script play, and you're not related or anything like that, right? You met here, right? Great. How does it feel when you both are role playing? From the beginning, the first time, how did it feel?
It's like less pressure. It's just like you can make a mistake and just keep rolling with it.
Did you giggle? Did you stutter? Yeah. And when is the time to do that? Yeah, exactly. Because once you overcome it with yourselves, it's going to be easy when you are with a buyer or with a seller. Now, you may say, yeah, Louis, it's easy for you to say because you've been so many years in the business. No, guys, If it's one thing that you guys need to understand, the minute you get your real estate license and you already are an active realtor with a real estate brokerage firm, you have the power of knowledge. In what sense? You're a licensed realtor, MLS. Your MLS should be your Bible. What do I mean by, what do I try to determine from that? When I got my real estate license, okay, my desk was about this size with, a couple of shelves, but this width. Oh, I'm sorry, Mercedes. My bedroom door was there, okay? The closet, the bathroom, the wall, the bedroom, that wall, the TV, and that little corner was this. That's how I started real estate. When my kids would go to sleep, 9-something at night, I'd get on that MLS, area 79, break it down. The Palmetto, the Turnpike to the east was starting to get developed. To the west was the old homesteaders. As it got built, and this is the way I did it, everything on the east side, I used to call it the ex-candlelight. The people that couldn't afford candle, they had to go over there because they wanted new, to show off this and that. So they purchased brand new pre-construction. The people who wanted land, who didn't mind an older home, to the right side, to the west side. And then Duplex City, an area in the west side of Homestead where a lot of duplex multifamily. The old homesteaders, the police, chiefs, doctors, nurses, professionals, business owners with land. I started putting all of that together, okay? So that way, when I had conversations, I knew what I was talking about. You follow? That's a tip that I give you guys to go on ahead and start from where? From your own home. If I was to ask you guys, what is your area, section, subdivision of where you live? Can you guys identify that? Okay, but what about numbers? I'm in area 60. What area is your home? What area is your home? What area is your home? Your home? Mercedes, what area is your home in the MLS? Okay, you see? If I was to ask you how many zip codes in the city you live in, I live in Color Bay. 33157, 33189, 33190.
33176, 33193, 33196.
Okay.
33176.
Okay. Now, you might say, okay, Louis, but what's the relevancy of that? You've got to know your market.
Your area.
It's knowledge. So when you have these confrontations as a buyer rep in an area that you familiarize yourself, it's easy. Now, the best part about that cash buyer for $1,350,000. Oh, go ahead. Oh yeah, please, thanks. Yeah, because I'm starting to sweat too, and I thought it was me.
Well, I know you're always hot.
Anyways, you guys want to know what was the best thing about that buyer representation of that CEO from TrackPhone? He wasn't my buyer. He came from a realtor from another company. She somehow, I don't recall right now, but she's in Homestead. She got the lead. She says, I'm gonna place you with the realtor that knows that area. And she called me. She never went to her broker of that office, Century 21, anyway, okay? And guess what was the best part about this all? When I went on ahead and closed, I told the office, give me the referral check for Century 21. $10,500 was the referral. The commission was $40,500, okay? I hand delivered that check to the realtor, not to boast about it to her peers, to give her a hug, a kiss, and say thank you for confiding in me. Thank you for trusting in me. Because just like I had done that when I first got my real estate license for the area that I was, Area 79, I did that for them. When Mr. Buyer, TracFone, told me Coral Gables, North Coral Gables. So guess what did I do? I looked for an address, area, section, subdivision, and I started focusing just on that area, and then started looking into the private schools of all sorts and relevancy as far as closeness, proximity to this. All of that, I was able to piece it together and made that transaction possible. That's what laying a concrete foundation that I told you in the beginning of the class is where your fruits come out. Okay, they stand out because you've established yourself as a strong individual, service related wise, that you're going to render the best service for, in this case, your buyer. Okay. Let's see. Let's go to, well, page 19 shows nibbling hot potato, where it says on nibbling, let's say once your client has agreed upon major concession, the other party will start nibbling for additional smaller concessions. Okay. This property that I have listed, 379, 15,000 above, they asked for a microwave to be left. The microwave is not the one that's above the stove.
Is that the one that you buy at $30 at Walmart?
It's the one that you just place in a counter.
Yeah.
They asked for it. Somehow my seller says, I can't believe they asked for that. I said, so what, Lauren? So one less item that you're taking to your new place, because she's moving to Palm City, up North Florida. Yeah. One less thing to move, to make this deal happen. And then the drapes. I says, Laurie, you're going to an apartment. These were custom made for here. I said, no, I know. It's just, once again, nitpicky seller. I just can't believe, that they're asking for this and that. So what? But guess what, guys? You're going to go through that. There's certain I love working with the elders. Okay, they love me. Old ladies love me and everything, but you've got to be patient with them. Lois, I can't believe they're asking for this. I said, you know what? Did you really need it? Maybe it's the time for a change. You know what? If they ask for it, give it to them. Look at what else they're offering. Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess we can do something and inside of me says, are you effing kidding? I'm human, guys. I'm entitled to get pissed, but inside of me, I keep it, and inside of me, I can make, not judgment, but
when you get home, just get.
No, I laugh. Every time I get in my truck, I put Pandora, kick that AC up, and depending what kind of mood I love, I got rap music, I got Dua Lipa, I got all kinds of stuff, everything. I even got Spanish, salsa, whatever it is. And guess what, guys? That also helps out. Another little tip. Anyways, hot potato. The other party tries to pass a problem onto you. For example, the cooperating agent tries to pass all the closing costs to your client because their client can't afford them. Okay. In this market, that's not going to work. Okay. Because low inventory. But be prepared. The market will shift, will change. It always does. And when it does do so, be prepared. Reflect back on these studies, and especially reflect back on negotiating the deal. What if, where you guys are all living, there's 10 actives, and they've all been in the market at least 30 days. And you get a buyer and says, no, I know what's in the market, I really don't like it, but I need to buy because I'm moving in 2 months, my lease ends. So what kind of a buyer do you have there? On an inventory that's saturated with a lot of properties that are not moving like this, okay? That's where you gotta tie back into your emotions. That's where you gotta start saying, obviously you're renting and you gotta buy, right? Yes. Okay. Where would you like to buy? Well, it all depends. Remember, I got kids and okay, kids, school's up. Okay, so what's important to you on about school zone? Or do they go to a private school or this and that? You start nibbling away that hot potato that it talks about here. Now you're placing it with that buyer of yours. So that way, when you look for that property, you tell them this property meets all your needs. Oh yeah, I saw that property in Zillow. Okay, great. Let's go look at it. Because it's one thing in pictures and one thing go see it in person. But this one has everything. You mentioned to me about the school. You mentioned to me about proximity to an expressway for your travel because you work up north. This meets all these needs, and guess what? It's available. So that's a good thing for us. When it becomes a buyer's market, your buyers are going to want to say, I'm not offering that price. Plus, I want them to pay all my closing costs. I said, time out. And that's when you're going to start evaluating, have you met with your lender? Does your lender allow for this to happen? Because I don't know if you know, certain buyers have to come up with money. The bank wants, skin in the game from the buyers. The buyers might know this and throw you a curveball to see if you're going to land on it. Yeah, sure. I'll negotiate. Where you establish from the beginning and says, hang on a second, let's talk to your lender because I don't think that's the game. I think you have to own skin in the game for purchasing it as well. And then, they told me something like that. I said, we can ask, let's first see the property. And if it's something, then we can see what we can ask for. And then you leave it broad and you leave it open. Good guy, bad guy. Two people working together. Example, husband and wife will take on opposing roles. One appears friendly, the other one and considerate. The other behaves in a difficult or aggressive manner. Guess what? I've had that situation. Many years ago, I lived in Leisure City, corner house. The house behind me were a retired couple, Joe, I don't remember her name. She passed away first, and then Joe passed. They sold the house, and then another elderly man, but younger, came from Sweetwater. He became my neighbor, and like you see the way I am, I'm like this at home. I'm like this everywhere. Very friendly, very open to it. And in speaking to him, that he knew that I was in real estate, I sell my home and I move out, but he stayed in contact. He calls me and he said, hey, we'd like, for you to come over. That I'm looking to sell the house. I said, what? Really? I said, yeah, but come and talk to us. Okay. So I met the lady who he bought the house, not with, he bought the house on his own. But the lady came, with the house in the sense that he sold his house in Sweetwater and then he bought here. So when I come in, I say hello to them and this and that, and I already noticed her with an attitude. It's, ooh, okay. And him nervous as hell, okay? So it got to the point, I said, hey guys, what's going on here? I said, no, we're getting divorced. I said, what? That was my reaction. I said, what? Are you guys crazy? You guys know how old you are? Divorce? Are you kidding me? No, Louis, we're not compatible anymore, her. And that's it, we're out. So I already knew the history. I said, ooh, she's the aggressor, but she has really no skin in the game. I says, okay. He, the humble man and everything, I think he just wanted to comply for the peace of mind. So that was undeliberately good guy, bad guy. They didn't choose to do it this way. How did I overcome that? When I finally said, okay, yes, I will list the house and sell it, but there's some ground rules that I need you both to understand. She was here and he was here. And I went to him first, because I knew that she could, cause me issues, problems. I says, this is your home. Whatever you tell me about the sale of the home, I have to disclose it to her. Whatever you tell me pertaining to the sale of the home, I have to disclose it to him. Because you two can go your separate ways. And I'm sorry to hear that. I'm friends to you both. And it kind of sucks, but if that's what it is, it is. But while we're selling the house, to me, you're together. And my responsibility as a licensed realtor is to maximize the sale of the home for you both. Whatever happens afterwards, you guys have attorneys or whatever it is. He tells, oh no, my daughter's an attorney, real estate attorney. Inside of me, he says, thank God, it's gonna protect him, And sure enough, that's how it happened. I got it sold, okay? So whenever you see, and obviously this good guy, bad guy is, in presenting an offer, but it also applies to taking a listing as well. Let's go to, okay, page 20, position. Positioning is moving both parties closer to each other until you have full agreement. Acknowledgement and affirm the common ground where the buyer and the seller are in agreement and are at the same position. Then identify which positions may be easily adjusted and which are set in stone. It says, ask what and how questions to better understand the other party's values and why certain things are important to them. And it gives an example. Say you represent a seller who wants to close in 30 days. If a buyer wants to close within 60 days, ask your client, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you're requesting a 30-day closing. What is it important about closing in 30 days? At the listing stage, if the seller says, I want a contract, when you list it, don't bring me an offer of 60 days, 90 days. Okay, sure. Bring me an offer of 30 days. Sure, not a problem. I just want the listing. We'll get to that stage. It's like you're buying the bucket before to milk the cow before getting the cow. You understand? But guess what? Sellers are like that. You just don't know, level of education or to what point are they getting. Okay. On the side of the offering of the contract that you've shown the property, it all reflects back again with me that I show a property, and like these people here in my listing with Lori says, Louis, who are these people? I says, that's the married couple with a young girl that's tall. Oh yeah. I think they're buying it for her. Okay, so that's the reason why I think she liked the fourth bedroom opened up. I don't know if she's married or not, but apparently it looks like she's got no kids, but that could be a nurse. Oh, okay, that's fine, perfect. All right, so I kind of prepped it for that. But let's say she tells me, Louis, I got to close in 30 days because I want to be out, and that buyer with the 15,000 above the list price and says 60 days. Okay, which in fact we did speak about that before receiving any offers, and my response to her was this: any financing offer is going to be delayed because some business entities are still doing remote working. They're not all there. There could be delays there. The good thing about it for you is that once we get past the inspection stage, and then we get past the appraisal stage, by then you should be almost moved out, ready for the moving company to come in. So, and I know, Lori, you haven't done this. You can imagine, guys, 2004, she had the home built. 2021, this woman hasn't moved. Didn't think about it. She prayed upon this, and she was telling me for 2+ years, Louis, I might sell, Louis, I might not sell. I said, Lori, whatever you want. Because we serve the community together, in Homestead. So I know her for many, many years. And her attorney and us, we're friends. We've had dinners together, parties together. So Lori, not a problem. Whenever you're ready, you let me know. And then she said, I had an intervention with God. And he's told me I've got to move it. So I need you to meet with me. I said, sure, Lord, not a problem. So now that kind of gives you an idea of the salad that I have. Oh, by the way, her entire home is full of elephants in all sorts, picture frames, artifact, hangings, everything beautiful. That's something to her that's sacred. Okay, so and buyers notice that she's into elephants, right? So things of that nature. So it made it real easy, in positioning the her before we received any offers, that if you want a fast closing, because she told me those in 15 days I can be out of here. I said, no, but it's not gonna happen unless if it's a cash buyer. But I still don't want to put you through that predicament because it might be overwhelming for you. And finally, we got an offer. It's 30 days. Whether it's gonna happen or not is next month. I think it will, but if not, we can always push it a little bit more. And then I'll go back to her and say, Lori, remember the time you need it. You already have your moving contractors and all. Just take the time to soak it all in, everything that you built here, and the good karma that you're leaving behind. I've got to be creative with her. That the next family, that young girl, she's gonna probably be here a long time, and then that will probably put her with God at a peace of mind, at a good family. Guys, we got to sometimes be psychiatrists in this business, But the good thing about it is that these teachings help us internalize it, so when we have to use it, we have it readily available for us. Okay. Let me see. Page 21. Well, we're not going to choose a partner here where one plays the agent, the other one plays the listing agent. But let's go over the scenario because that's something that I want to discuss with you guys. Are you all on page 21? The scenario is the property has 4 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, listed at $350 in a well-established neighborhood. That's a picture that here in Miami. That's ching, 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 pricey. The house requires new carpeting throughout the first floor and a new garage door opener. Oh, wow. 3 offers have been made, but all were below the asking price. Okay. So the buyer agent role. Your buyers are making an offer for $340,000 for the house. They have been pre-approved. You guys are all the buyer's agent. Mercedes, you're the buyer's agent. You're making an offer for $340,000. You are pre-approved. The buyers would like to close in the shortest time possible since they're moving from out of state and need a home for their family. Since they're leaving their appliances in their current home, so I guess, hint, they sold their home and left the appliances. The buyers would also like for all the appliances to be included, which that's standard, right? Procedure. So buyer's agent, all of you guys, you read the scenario of who you're representing, correct? Now I'm going to read the scenario of who I am representing as a listing agent. My sellers have raised their family in the house you're selling and that I'm selling and have many friends and family in the area. Since their children are now grown, they no longer need the amount of space their current home provides and have purchased a home in Florida. They would like to give all the appliances to their daughter, who has just gone through a divorce. Emotions. They will not be moving until they have sold their current house. And although they would like to get to Florida as soon as possible, they're ready to stand their ground regarding the price. Okay, so we got a couple of objections here, guys. Do you guys think that? All right, so let's start. I know Robert was the first one. You role played with me. Yarita, role play with me by representing the buyer's agent. Okay, so you go on ahead and you present the offer, and it says here, we'll take a few minutes to review. We read it. And then it says here, number 4, present your case to your partner and practice positioning. So you're presenting this offer to me now. I'm the listing agent.
Okay,
Dale. How are you, Yarisa? How you doing?
good. How you doing?
And this is phone, not in person.
Okay. I want to talk a little bit about the offer that I'm
Sure.
presenting. My client is looking to for you to talk with your, client, because they wish that the appliances remain. Do you think that that's something that?
Well, we do have an issue here because, the house they sold, you know, they left the appliances, they have no appliances. No, I'm sorry, the house they wanna buy, you know, wait a second.
He's planning to give it to.
Yeah.
Daughter.
They have a daughter who's gotten divorced. She's low on money. She went through a very nasty divorce and thus needs the appliances. So that's the reason why we cannot leave the appliances.
Okay. I'm a little lost in this case because there's different problems here, like, you know.
Just two problems.
Yeah, the property needs some fixing. you
Yeah,
know,
but the
so-
fixing, okay. All right, so tell me everything, cause that,
Okay. Well, the thing is that I'm looking at the property and there's some also, concerns about the carpets that needs to be replaced. And I know that they're set on there in the garage,
Door opener.
opener is broken, so there's a few concerns when it comes to the price. And I'm looking for the best fit for my client, and they're not comfortable on offering full price when those items,
okay.
really fix.
I mean,
So
duly noted.
there's a way that we can kind of like work,
Yeah, I'm sure we can, but what is the price that you're offering? We're at 355. What price are you offering?
340.
340. So that means that you're asking for 15,000 under, and the reasons are?
The reasons are, the carpets
Uh-huh.
that throughout the house needs to be replaced,
Okay,
and the garage opener,
okay,
that's like the whole system.
Okay.
Needs to be replaced. So considering that, we're offering, $15,000 under.
okay. What I want to let you know is on behalf of my sellers, I already did my due diligence.
Okay.
I reached out to Sears. The garage door opener is $350. And then carpet, I know that people don't do carpet, but I also did quote a carpet for the first floor is $2,000. So we're looking at just under $2,500. You're offering 15,000 under, okay? What if I replace those two things and your client comes back with 355?
Okay, I can actually discuss that counter offer with them.
Okay, you never made a mention about the appliances.
I mean, the thing is that that
Okay.
was kind of established.
Let's switch it.
So,
Let's,
yeah.
let's switch it. I'm the buyer's agent
Uh-huh.
and you're the listing agent. Yaritza, hi, this is Louis. Remember me? I showed you that property with that family on that lovely home.
Yes.
Okay,
I
good.
remember.
We're gonna be preparing an offer, and this is the reason why I wanted to call you, just to give you a little heads up, okay? I know that you're not leaving the appliances, and I know that we gotta fix the garage door opener
I
mechanism,
see where you're going.
okay? And I know that the carpets definitely gotta get replaced. We're offering 15,000 less so we can cover appliances,
Yes.
we can cover the repairs of the garage and replacement of the carpeting. How would you answer to that?
Okay, now I get what you're saying. Like,
Okay, so let's switch it right back and say, you presented that to me. I says, you know what, that's a great offer, but I've done my due diligence, my homework, and a set of appliances at Brandsmart on one of the holiday weekends, the set is $2,500, and it's the Frigidaire Gallery Series, which comes in stainless steel. So we know already what the cost is of that. The carpet is $1,500, so that's $2,500 and $1,500, that's $4,000, and we're looking less than $500 for the garage door opener. The reason why my clients are not willing to do this, they're short on cash and wanting to put this money up front, but we're willing to do a negotiation in the price. We're at $355. We're willing to go down to $350.
okay.
And in that $350, when you spend this money, you're at $355 with brand new carpeting, garage door opener, and in working condition, and brand new appliances, which thus gives you a little bit more value to that house.
Okay.
The appraisal will actually be a little bit higher, afterwards if they decide to sell. I know you're not going to sell because I remember when I was showing you the property, your buyers were talking about wanting to do a pool and have get-togethers, and because of the kids' schools, they see themselves here. You see how all of that came possible? Why? Because I showed the home, because I asked questions to the buyer. And when the negotiating came, I was prepared. I felt like the Hulk, and that anything you threw at me, unrealistic, I would be able to counter it back with compassion. You had a question, or did I answer it?
I think you did. Because it seems very unreasonable to give an offer of 10,000 below.
15.
Just 15,000, sorry, yeah, 15,000 below just for a carpet and
Yep.
and some other things.
So-
But how do you, it's really by adding that compassion. My other question is, I did a showing for my buyer. How do you take all that information about the appliances and things like that? Because that was one of my mistakes where we saw the property, but it didn't focus on the type of appliance. I know what appliances were there, but I didn't know about the brand or anything like that.
Years of experience and me doing it on my own. I bought a couple of homes that I've had to redo them before I move in. And I've been able to negotiate on the price and stipulate those appliances. I got to get them replaced. The house that I purchased in 2014, where I'm living in West Spring Pines Estates in Color Bay, it was totally original, 1960. The bathrooms, one was that light green, the other was the pink. Okay, it looked so cute and everything. I told my wife, how about if we, let's revive it. She goes, hell no. I said, okay. So in my offer, they had that almond carpet. Trust me, just similar. Appliances are old. So I had to get that house to redo. So I asked them for $3,500 seller contributions because I had to put money back into the house. That plus my commission is what I put to put that house, and I did brand new bathrooms, flooring, not the kitchen cabinet, but the kitchen appliances. And when you are in this industry, you've got to familiarize yourself with certain things.
No, but what I'm saying is, do you take that information from the realtor or do you?
Me myself.
Okay.
When I
You do
list a
your
property,
showings for your buyers. We're talking about.
buyers,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm prepared. When I'm looking at showing the home and I see the appliances are old, I said, okay, take that in consideration, Louis, because Mr. or Mrs. Buyer are gonna bring that up. Flooring, roof, if it's that popcorn ceiling, things of that nature, the bedrooms, the bathrooms. The major ones are roofing, flooring, kitchen, and bathrooms. Those are the major ones. Okay, that's why a lot of people put money into those sectors and then list them up high, and it's a hit or miss, because you guys might not like it, but the next buyer might like it, So, but and it comes with the experience, What you could do is ahead of time is, okay, I'm a realtor, but what am I also? I'm a consultant in the business of selling property. What kind of properties? Well, depends what kind of crowd. Because I have individuals, like, I don't work with investors. I'm not gonna have an investor waste my time. But why, Louis? They're cash buyers and straight quick. Yeah, where the hell is that inventory at? That's the reason why I'm very comfortable when I sit with my sellers. I let them know, I want you to know that I am predominantly a listing agent. Okay, what does that mean? That I focus on sellers only. Lori, my focus is on you. I'm not trying to get a buyer to double end this deal, to make more commission. My focus is to sell, to maximize the sale of your home. The more money I make you, obviously, the more I'm gonna make, but that's my objective. Are you okay with that? So that sounds fine by me. There's realtors that they're greedy, they want both ends. Your emotions ties into it, and even if you put a nice role playing in front of your seller and buyer, sometimes they're gonna catch it, okay? I had one seller, Mr. Bond, who told me straight out, I got a buyer that wanted me to present an offer. I prepared it and I sent it. He said, Louis, who's representing them? I said, no, I am. I'm representing the transactions if we have a problem here. But that's okay. you can represent them. I'll get a realtor to represent me, and Mr. Bond can't do that. I'm representing you. I said, no, I don't want you to represent me. And don't worry, I'll let them know that they have to get their own realtor. Yeah, Louis, I told her, you represent me. But that man was just not here. So did I lose out on a commission of both ends? Sure. But my concern was selling the house from my seller. A lot of realtors don't do that. And then a lot of realtors, well, I'm sorry, you're on the contract with me, on the listing side. If anything, we'll take you to court. Stupidity. It's always what it says here, focus on the need of your client. He never brought this up and you know how long it took me to get that listing? 11 years.
Oh my God.
Did I knew it was a listing? No. I met him. 1.61 acres artwork because he had like 5 acres. He started selling it. He's a businessman. He's not an entrepreneur. And he was left with an artwork size. However, where it was very secluded and all. And 11 years later, he says, okay, I want you to sell my home. Go ahead.
When you're gonna do dual representation, you have to disclose it to the.
Well, we're transaction brokers right off the bat. I don't know if you guys are aware of it. This Keller Williams Realty is transactional basis.
So when you're doing a broker, you need to become a no broker to the buyer.
No. Your transaction, you represent the transaction. If you're showing your own listing, before you show your own listing, you've got to alert both the seller and the buyer. These people don't have a representation. This is where I spoke to you at the time of listing the property, that if a buyer comes in through my marketing efforts, I am what I currently am, transactional broker. Now you have disclosed to me certain things that will not be disclosed to them, which is the emotional part of it. What I can disclose to them is that you're selling a home, that you built a home, that you have modifications done to the home, that you just replaced the AC, and that you're selling because you're leaving the city. That's as far as I can go. No more than that, because that's relevant to the property. Are you okay with that? And then I go back to the buyer, and I let the buyer, I'm going to be showing you a home, and all I'm going to be talking to you is about information pertinent to the home. So if you're interested, then we let your lender know, then we can prepare an offer, and then we'll go from there. That's it. There's no forms of this and that. It used to be like that, but now.
Do you normally like let when you're sitting down in your presentation?
I'm still here.
Good.
Let's say that you're doing a presentation to list a property, right? In that moment is something that you let know about the transaction being a transaction. That way, what happened to you perhaps doesn't happen later.
No, with Mr. Bond, I could have done that, and he still would have brought it up.
Okay, but he would have brought it up before you got the.
If he would have brought it up to that, I said, Louis, I have a problem. I can't list with you. I said, no, there's no problem. If you want me just to work for you, I'll do that.
Well, since I'm just imagining, like, if it's something that we bring in that presentation when we're signing the contract, perhaps that let us know our standpoint with that specific client.
I mean, you
That way,
can.
if you put effort on finding a buyer, you see what I mean? Or you
Okay,
don't.
but see, now you're thinking ahead.
Okay,
Why don't you just think about getting the listing?
right. No, but I'm just saying, like, let's say.
Because that's what if.
Okay.
And in that what if, the seller might say, you know what, I'll get back to you. The next one, like me, comes in and say, hey, what if you get your own buyer? Says, I really don't work with buyers. But if they come, I'll let you know. We'll go from there. My focus is you.
Gotcha.
Who do you think is going to win
Yeah.
the listing?
Yeah.
Because they're going to say, okay, this is who I want, because he's working for me only. They don't know all the transactional part of it, and I'm not even going to dare to begin explaining that, because I think I might lose out on business.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day, they want to sell.
Okay.
Okay? All right, guys. So this wraps up our class. Mercedes, I want to thank you so much. I have you in the attendance sheet, so you're logged in for this class.
Thank you.
Let me give you because I wrote it in the board here, but my cell phone is Erico 305 510 8610, just in case you have any other questions. And then I do encourage you guys to please go on ahead and put, you know, for your instructor, you know, my evaluation, I don't know if they've told you to do that for the other instructors or not.
We only
Only
got
Mate.
one.
Huh?
Only Mates.
Do Mate.
He asked you for
Yeah.
evaluation?
That's
Do you have
it.
the instructions for that though?
It's the same, I'll show you.
Okay.
Okay, guys, thank you. Have a terrific day.
Thank you.
Mercedes, thank you.
Great energy, man. Thank you.
Great meeting you all.
Thank you for
whoever-
everything. Everybody have a
You
great
bet.
day.
You as well. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye now.